All right. What's going on, everyone? Sam in here. I got a special guest on today, Coach Jay. He's had a very, we'll say, colorful, entertaining, hard life, and he's here to share it with you guys. And from what I've heard, I haven't heard the whole story. It's pretty damn interesting. Let you take it from there, man.
All right. So yeah, man. I guess just kind of basics, dude. Is was born in Renton, Washington, which is a little city right outside of Seattle. Um, Parents were drug addicts. My dad was a um, kind of a rough dude. He was loosely associated with the Colacurcio crime family here in Seattle, which is a West Coast faction of the Italian mafia. So just kind of growing up, I was exposed to a lot of violence. I mean, I remember my first childhood memory, my first memory ever is it was summertime, had to be summertime, the sun was out. I was like licking an ice cream cone. I was probably 2 years old, maybe three. And my dad was working on his, I think he had a Chevelle or Camaro at that point, but he was working on that. And I remember a car pulled up right in front of our little house in West Seattle. And I remember my dad, he looked at me and he said, "Don't fucking move." And I was like, "Oh, fuck." And I just remember him walking down the driveway and talking to these three guys. And like, after a couple seconds of him being down there and this and that goes on, he just starts unloading on these dudes.
Oh,
bam,
shit.
bam, bam. And just takes all three of them out. And I'm just like, and I remember dropping my ice cream cone and freaking just crying hysterically because I didn't know what was going on and it scared the shit out of me. And I'll never forget that. And I remember him coming back and being like, "Fuck you crying about? Did I lose?" And I was like, that's just all I remember. I didn't understand like what the fuck he was saying. Or, it didn't make any sense, but that's always something that stuck with me, man. Just the level of violence that a human is capable of is shocking sometimes. So that kind of set the tone, unfortunately, for the rest of my life. So yeah, it's been a journey, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah, so not long after that, man, my dad was a heavy drinker. He drank probably close to a half gallon of Monarch vodka every day, and did heroin and crack and pretty much anything else he can get his fucking hands on. Um, he quickly got sick, man. Through the years. So I was always having to kind of bounce between living with my dad in West Seattle, which at the time during the mid '90s, in High Point, West Seattle was the hood, bro. It was Samoans and blacks and Asians. There was only a couple white families. It was me, us, the McNultys, and then there was another family. Oh, the McNiffs. There's only three white families up in High Point back then. So when my dad got sick, I was having to bounce between my dad's and my grandparents because my dad just could not take care of me. He was fucked up. Um, so I had to kind of learn how to almost be like a chameleon because my grandparents lived in the suburbs on Mercer Island, which if nobody's familiar with Mercer Island, you should look it up. It's mansions. I mean, fucking mansions everywhere. Paul Allen, the owner of the Seahawks, fucking lives there.
damn.
He lived just a mile down the road from my grandparents on West Mercer Way. So it's it's been interesting my life because like I said, I've had to kind of adjust to two different lives, man. I've had to hold on, my battery's running a little low.
It's all
I had
good.
to I had to quickly adjust, man, because those rich kids, dude, those kids are assholes, man. You
Yeah.
know, if you didn't have $100 pair of jeans, or you weren't rocking Tommy Hilfiger or fucking Polo Sport or whatever the fuck, you were lame. And I didn't understand that shit coming from Seattle. Um, I just it was like we were wearing Champion back then, dude, and fucking, you know, Champion was not what it was now. I mean, you're from the '90s and shit, so
Yeah.
Champion was like something you got at like Kmart. You know what I mean?
They're like the knockoff Converse. That's
Yeah,
what
it was just like Champion was not cool. So,
Mhm.
it was just a lot of like, it was just, I just remember like thinking how different I was, because I didn't fit in really in the hood because I was a white kid. Right. And then I didn't fit in with the white kids because I was the ghetto broke ass fucking dude. You know what I mean? And I listened to fucking rap, which fucking, it's funny because everybody listens to rap now. And it's just like, they used to
I
pick on
remember.
me
I
because I
remember.
listened. You know what I mean? It was just
Yeah.
like, fuck, man. So like I said, I've had to kind of really, learn how to fit in different environments, man, which honestly has kind of saved my life.
Hmm.
Um, because later on, when I got into the gangs and the organized crime, and going to prison and shit, it really helped because I'm able to fucking fit in anywhere. I mean, I can hold a conversation with anybody, whether you're an uneducated person or you're a highly educated person. So it was kind of a nice little thing for me. It ended up saving me in the long run, but yeah, it was a rough childhood, man.
The going back to your dad, did you where was your mom during all this?
Oh, yeah. So, funny thing about that, man. My mom one day dropped me off at my grandparents. Said she was going to go visit a friend in the hospital and she'd be back in like 3 hours. Well, 3 hours came and fucking went. And then another 3 hours came and went. And I didn't see her or hear from her until I was 18. That was when I was like 3. So, it was rough, dude. Like I remember like, laying in my bed, dude, and crying for my mom because I didn't understand. And God bless my grandma, the angel that she was. She would try to comfort me, and I understand what she was doing like now, but at the time I didn't. It was like, I don't want you. I want my mom, So, um, it was rough, man. I didn't understand. And unfortunately, my grandparents hid a lot of the drugs and stuff from me until later on in life. So I didn't get it.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Got you. So you're going through all this as a kid, and when is it? What age do you kind of? I guess they say get off the porch, or you start jumping in. Are you in the hood with the homies and on during the weekends? And when do you stop going back and forth and kind of choose which side you're going to go, which way?
So I started real young, dude. Like fuck, man. I think my first charge in juvenile was 1996, 97. So I was like 11, 12 years old. The first time I got arrested, I believe it was for a stolen car. And the big thing that I got in trouble for, though, as a kid, that really kind of stuck on my record over the years was it was Halloween night. I want to say 1997. It's Halloween 1997. And my dad had this little 380. He had a bunch of guns, but he had this little 380, little nickel plated 380 that I took. And the reason I took it is because I knew I mean, I don't know about your experiences, but when I was growing up, older kids would ride around and look for younger kids to like beat up and,
Yeah.
get like that.
Yeah.
So I knew, I just had this feeling that something
Halloween
was,
night.
something was, yeah, it's Halloween night, bro. Like
Mhm.
I'm not done.
Something. Yeah.
So I grab it. I go to this party, and we're at the party for a little bit, and bam, I freaking say, let's go to the store. So I think so you with me, Hunter, Jason was there. There's like 4 or 5 of us, right? We walk to the store. We get about halfway there, and sure as shit, I see this van come flying around the corner, dude. And it was like one of those like Mazda MPV vans from back in the
Oh
90s. You know what I mean?
man. Yeah, those were
So I
fucking
already knew.
definitely.
Like, I was like,
Yeah.
fuck, dog. Like, it's a fucking
Yeah.
MPV, bro.
Yeah.
So yeah, they fucking come to a little stop right in front of us, and we're in somebody's yard at this point. And I just remember the van door flying open. They're like, get him, get him. And it was some older high school kids, man. And so yeah, they fucking everybody runs, dude, right? Except for me. I just stood there. And I had the gun in my backpack, a little JanSport backpack.
I remember those. Yeah.
Yeah, you weren't cool unless you had a JanSport, bro.
Nope. Nope.
I had my JanSport backpack, dude. I reach in. The guy grabs me by my shirt. And he's like, I got one, man. I got one. And I was like, you better let me go, bro. I'm going to fucking blow your head off. And he's like, fuck are you talking about? And I fucking pull a little gun out. And he's like, hey, it's probably fake. And
No.
I remember this distinctly because I was so little. I had trouble cocking it.
Oh.
I was trying to hit the slide, bro. And I was like, and he was like, see, it's not real. And finally I got it. And it went click, clack. And he was like, oh, fuck, it's real. Everybody run. So they all run and get in the van and peel out.
They ever try and mess with you after that again?
Nah, well, they went and called the cops, bro.
You got like 16, 17-year-olds beating up 12-year-olds, and they're the one calling the cops.
Yeah, they called the cops, said I pulled the gun on them and shit. So
Oh my god!
next thing I know, I'm at this fucking party, and we go back to the party, and everybody's talking about, oh yeah, Justin fucking pulled a gun on this dude, man. You should have been there. And these kids' fucking parents are there and heard that I pulled a gun on somebody. So then they fucking call the cops. So the cops put 2 and 2 together and figure that I'm the guy who pulled the gun on the dudes. And bam. So anyways, long story short, I ended up going to jail, to Juvenile, King County Youth Detention, which was fucking ended up being my home away from home. Yeah, it's, and then from there, I had that was assault 2 with a deadly weapon and possession of a firearm 1st degree.
And how old were you?
I was 12.
12. Okay. So how was Juvenile Hall in Washington up there in the Seattle area? They got their own little politics, like no red Jello and shit like that.
No, it wasn't like that, but it was definitely, I look back on it, right? And yeah, I got into a few fights and got picked on. I got picked on quite a bit because I was the skinny ass white boy. And there were not many white boys in King County Youth Detention Center, which is right weird because I grow up and I end up going to the adult system and there's fucking white boys everywhere. And I was like, where the fuck were you guys in juvie when I needed you?
Yeah. That kind of seems to be the consensus. Yeah, we didn't mess with that kid shit. We were doing something else.
Yeah, so it was different growing like back then, man, because even though I was a white boy and I wasn't like in a gang at that point, like I was cool, right? And I would fight and I wasn't a bitch. And so like there was a lot of dudes that stood up for me when guys would pick on me. There was a lot of like older black kids. Like I remember this one dude, his last name was Koufax. I don't remember his first name, but to this day, man, I wish I could find that dude because he stuck up for me a lot, man.
That's cool.
Anytime I was in the unit with this guy, Koufax, he was really tall. He looked old, bro. He looked like he's 20, but he's 17. Big kid. And he was like, man, why are you guys fucking with him, bro? Like, leave the kid alone, man. And so, like he stuck up for me a lot, man. So he was a cool dude. I really appreciated that shit.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and there was a couple times I got into some pretty good fights. Like there was this one time, like in the juvie, they would the guard would pick somebody to clean up after breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So you get to stay out for a few minutes and shit. So the cop picked me to stay out. And so I remember I'm cleaning and he's like, hey, when you get done cleaning, fucking go ahead and get you a shower before everybody else comes out. And I was like, cool, thank you. And I remember this kid, Terrell Johnson. I still remember because I ended up seeing him later in life. But he told me through the door, he's like, hey, man, that bottom shower is mine, dog. And I just looked at him and was like, yeah, right. I fucking went and got in the shower. Fuck you, right?
Yeah.
And these were the shower. It was like you could come in and you can close the door, right? And it was just a room with a toilet and then a mirror and then a side room with a shower. So I go in, I shut the door, and I fucking do my thing. I come out. As I'm opening the door to come out, he's hiding behind the door. So as I open the door, he comes from behind it and fucking bam, cracks me right in my jaw.
Mm.
And I turn around and I fucking grab him and I throw him into the bathroom and he fucking falls like into the bathroom on top of the toilet. I should have gone after him, but I didn't. I just shoved him and then I was like, I thought maybe that was it and he'd leave me alone, but he came after me hard, dude, and he fucked me up pretty good. He punched me in the throat, bro.
Oh,
yeah, and I'll never forget it because it was a right hook because he went bam, and the first one caught me, and then the second one he did it again, and that one caught me perfect, and my whole like neck just went, and I just started coughing up blood, and then he punched me a couple more times, and I fucking ended up going down, but. Dude, I did like fuck, man. It was shit like that. I was like, fuck, all I wanted to do was take a shower, bro.
Yeah. Someone always has to start shit out. It's just young guys, That's mine.
Because like we got 72-hour lockdown for that little skirmish, but I got released the next day, and then so I remember when I was getting released, I was like, I looked at his cell and I was like, fuck you, bitch. Dog. I think you're still on lockdown.
Yeah, you have to deal with him in 2 days.
Yeah, right. Fuck.
Yeah. So you're going through the juvenile system. How long are you there for that gun charge?
Oh, so it was actually the first couple of times I got in trouble, I kind of got some love because I don't know if it's because my grandparents thought that I was gonna change or something, but they would get me a private attorney. Right. Well, that only happened twice, dude, because after
they're
spending
expensive.
Yeah, dude, they're like 10 grand a pop. So I ended up doing, let's see, for that, I ended up doing I think it was like 90 days.
Okay.
No. So for that one, I did 30 days in juvenile, and then I had to go do 30 days in a treatment center. And that's when I got sent to this place in Lake City Way here in Seattle called Ryther Child Center. And it was a fucking like whack ass inpatient inpatient. You get sent away for 30 days. Fucking
like a county detox type.
Yeah,
deal.
dude.
They got bonfire and fences.
It was all just a bunch of fucking punk ass kids like myself, dude. You know what I mean?
The staff hates everyone. Yeah.
Oh, dude, the food was great. But everything else sucked.
No. Like a ham and cheese sandwich every fucking day.
Dude, all I ever cared about was the food, man. And if I could sneak a cigarette.
Yeah. There's always that. But so How and you went through? Did you complete the program?
No, no.
Sure.
Matter of fact, I got told on. I was thinking about this shit this morning. Right? I was like trying to go through and remember crazy shit, and I remember this fucking kid, Willie Fairbanks, little fucking punk. This little bitch ass motherfucker, right? I fucking hate him to this day, man. He really fucked. He fucked a lot of shit up for me because
Oh, okay.
he just caused a lot of shit, man. Because I was doing good, you know, I was in this program and following the rules, but I had snuck in some weed, right? Well, old fucking Willie Fairbanks, he was kind of a bully, and he was just a jerk, dude. He was this kid from Issaquah, which is, if you don't know Issaquah, it's another rich ass area, and he was just a punk, dude. Like, he did not like me for whatever reason, and he just always picked on me because I was little, and he ended up telling on me, man, for the weed. And so I got kicked out. Then I got the cops called on me as I was getting kicked out. They called Seattle police. So I got a new charge. Yeah, I got a new charge. And then I got a probation violation. Right. And then it was a whole bunch of shit, bro. I ended up like having to do, you know, like I think 4 months in juvie because of that fucking shit.
Damn, dude.
So I was like, I had like 2 weeks left, dude. You know, I was about to be out and go home for the summer and like chill with my girlfriend, I remember. And I was excited. And then this bitch ass motherfucker told on me, man.
Damn, dude. That's sad because it's true. Bullies, man. There's this one, Kevin Arpeza. He always used to fuck with Adam Guerrera, and then he tried it with me and it didn't work. And so whenever people wouldn't cower from him, like I was a freshman, he was a senior, and then I too became a sophomore. Or no, he's a junior,
Right.
sophomore, senior,
Yeah.
and I just had enough one day.
Yeah.
And I hauled off. I hit him one time in the nose. Fucking immediately started crying.
Bro, that's all it takes. People don't realize you punch a fucker in their snot box, they're done.
Dude, I had this thing fucking broken 4 times, and each time it was a fist. The 2 times it was a fist, I couldn't see a fucking thing.
Yeah, it makes it, everything goes black, dude.
Yeah. But I was just thinking, that's funny how the bullies are always like the biggest fucking tattletales.
Yeah, bro. Like I'm looking, like, you know, I looked back on it and I'm just like, how did he even think or like rationalize being some tough guy and he's sitting there telling on me?
I don't know.
Like, you know, whatever.
Just
So like
people
ever
trying
since
to
I
be
was
what
a
they're
little
not.
kid, I've been getting told on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No, I know how that is. Yeah, the not for the extent of you know, a gun or anything, but just I know the feeling like, you motherfucker, you did it with me, you know, and I'm just sitting there taking it. But yeah, so you're bouncing around. So let's get to where you get like your first big case. Or how was your teenage years? Was it just ripping and running?
Oh, dude, bruh. When I tell people about my teenage years, they don't believe it. Like it was like something out of a fucking movie, man. Because my my dad was connected, right? I grew up kind of in these two different fucking, you know, parallel
Mm-hmm.
universes, so to speak. You got the hood on one end, and you got fucking the suburbs on the other end. So high school was kind of like a fucking great time for me, man, because everybody where I, you know, everybody's really into the drugs, you know, and getting stoned and snorting powder and you know, having a good time. So I knew where to get all that shit.
There you go.
I knew where to get everything, anything you wanted, dude, I can get it. And you know, I had the super plugs, bro. I was getting fucking ounces of blow for $420 an ounce. You had to buy more than one, but you had to buy at least 2. But yeah, bro, I was fucking getting it in back then. But it was great, man, because Mercer Island is, if anybody doesn't know, right? Mercer Island is, you got Seattle, right? Then you got Lake Washington, right? And in the middle of Lake Washington sits Mercer Island, right? And you got Seattle, Mercer Island in the middle of Lake Washington. You got Bellevue, which is another super rich area.
I've heard of Bellevue.
Right. So Mercer Island makes Bellevue look like fucking like the slums, dude. Like Mercer Island is
Wow.
ridiculous. You look it up, bro. It's ridiculous. Like
Okay.
13, $14 million houses.
That's for like Bill
Yeah, bro.
Gates.
So yeah. So like in high school, man, I was going on yachts and fucking going to parties. Like I remember this one girl, Jessica. God, I can't remember her last name now. She was so beautiful. She dated my buddy James Bennett, but she had this house, man. You fucking gated house and shit. You go into this house, and the main they open the front door, and there's like this fucking like river, like a fucking
In the fucking house?
in the fucking house. I still don't know, but like it would come down the through the stairs, and then there was like this rock walkway that you'd walk along to go up to the stairs into the kitchen, and there was like this river, dude. It was
That
just a beautiful home, dude, and like
damn.
just shit like that. And it was like I used to like think like, man, I'm fucking like living it up like Scarface, dude. You know what I mean? But it ain't my money, man. It's fucking their, these kids' daddies and mommy's money.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
it was fun, dude. It was a good time. We had a lot of fucking great times going out on boats all summer. We'd be out on a fucking
Yeah.
boat.
Yeah.
It was great, man. But unfortunately for me, it was just the Mercer Island Police Department did not
Knew who
like.
you were.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
So I was always, and when I tell you always, like you go look up my booking shit, man. Like I was probably in jail every other month or every month. I'd get out for like 2 weeks and be back for 2 weeks. Be out for 2 weeks, back for 2 weeks. It was like a revolving door, man.
and so the times you're going in the county jail, right? Are you starting to meet, people who are somebody and
Yes. So during these times, I started meeting guys like Charles Champion. You can look him up. I think he's doing a couple life sentences now, but he's a super well-known gang member up here in Seattle. He was a good friend of mine. Rest in peace, Satan folks. Raymond Porter. He was a good buddy of mine. Me and him were in Maple Lane together. He shot Sheriff Steve Cox, killed him. Yeah. Big Tate, Little Tate, the founders of D-Dub. I mean, dude, just fucking Wolf, Bari, like just legends, dude. Fucking legends in the streets up here. So, I kind of grew up during a special time, like the 90s, you know what I mean? 80s, 90s.
especially in Seattle.
Yeah, dude, it was like the golden era of fucking rap, gangster rap and shit.
Yeah. Well, that was 92 to like 97. Nirvana owned everything.
Oh yeah, I remember that shit, man. I remember that very well. Matter of fact, I remember when like that whole Kurt Cobain suicide thing happened.
Yeah, that was Courtney. Yeah, we all know.
Have you seen the documentary Soaked in Bleach?
Yeah, and they're like the gun. There's no way he was holding it.
There's no way he could have even done, dude.
Yeah.
And the suicide note was in 2 different handwritings.
Yeah, it wasn't his. Yeah. It was like, okay, well, this one's kind of girly, Courtney.
Yeah, it looked pretty suspicious, dog.
Yeah, but yeah. So, what was it that got you your first case to go to the pen?
So fast forward to what is that? 2003, 2002, 2003. Yeah. So 2003, I had gotten into some pretty big trouble when I was 17. I was, right on the verge of being an adult. I got caught with a stolen shotgun, and it was kind of fucked up, man, because like I had this stolen shotgun and I was high on acid, and I called my buddy at like 3:00 in the morning, and I'm like, bro, I got this shotgun, dog. I just stole it. Blah, 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 blah. And his fucking dad was on the other line because I called their house at 3:00 in the morning.
Oh, fuck.
So his dad calls the cops. I pass out because I had been fucking high on acid for like 12 hours. The fucking cops come to my house while I'm sleeping. I don't even wake up. I guess to this day, my dad told me they tried waking me up. They couldn't wake me up. They find the shotgun under my bed and take it. I wake up the next morning, didn't know the cops had been there. I look under my bed, the shotgun's gone. I'm like,
Uh-oh.
what the fuck is going
What I
on?
do with it?
I go into my dad's room and I'm like, what the fuck happened? And he's like, boy, you do know the cops were here last night. And I was like, huh? And he's like, yeah, they took the shotgun, dumbass. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? And he told me everything that happened. And I was like, oh my fucking God, man. Well, fast forward about 9 months, I'm sitting in juvie for a probation violation for a dirty UA for coke and weed. And I had to do like, I think it was like 2 weeks or something, but I was supposed to be released on December 23rd so that I could be home for Christmas, right? That was the judge said, okay, fine. I'll release you December 23rd. December 22nd comes around. I'm getting ready to get out tomorrow, dude. I'm like, yeah, bitch, I'm getting out tomorrow. I'm giving away my food and shit
Yeah.
tonight. They're like, Woodard, court.
Oh.
For what? They're like, I don't know, dude. You got court. And I was like, fuck, man. All right. So I go up to court. My attorney comes to see me and he's like, oh, boy, you did it this time. And I was like, what do you mean? I'm supposed to get out tomorrow. And he's like, you're not getting out.
Oh,
I was
great.
like, what do you mean, dude? And he's like, you got a fucking stolen shotgun, the charge that you're looking at. And I was like, oh, fuck. That's right.
They held out on for 9 months.
Yeah, they didn't file on me.
They were waiting for you to get out of juvie.
Yeah, so like, here I am. And that whole scenario right there caused so much like intense PTSD and paranoia for me to this day, actually. Like, I'm like, oh my God, is some charge gonna pop up out of nowhere? Like,
Yeah.
I just have this fucking like paranoia, dude, because I was about to go home, dude, and I didn't see home for another year after that because I ended up doing a year and went to juvenile prison. So I went to Maple Lane, which is a juvenile prison.
So is juvenile prison kind of like California Youth Authority, or
Yeah, same thing.
like
Same
it's
shit.
just the next in between juvie and prison, the pen?
Yeah, up here it's called JR. Well, it was. I think it's something different now. It was called JRA, Juvenile Rehabilitation Administration.
Okay.
So that's what it was called. We just called it getting sent up.
Okay. And was that any different from juvenile hall? Older kids maybe using more weapons?
Yeah, bro, it was fucking crazy, dog. It was like, honestly, like my juvenile prison time was probably a lot harder than any county time I ever did as an adult. Like, it was rough. That's where I really started to see the like racial divide and the prison gangs start to kind of formulate. You know what I mean? Like, you really started to see the white kids only hanging really with the white kids and just shit like that. And like, I didn't understand it, right? Because I told myself before I got there, I was like, I'm not going to fucking do that. I'm going to talk to whoever the fuck I want to talk to. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. And that kind of worked, bro. It kind of worked in the juvenile system. And I think the only reason I got away with it so much in there is because just of kind of who I was, and because I had earned a fucking name for myself at this point. Like, everybody knew who I was. I wasn't some super tough dude. Like, I don't got miraculous fucking hands. Like, I'm not some great fighter, but I will fight, and you're gonna remember fighting me. But like, I just didn't have much trouble, man. But I saw a lot of fucking dudes get just fucked off, man. Yeah.
Like locks and socks, knives.
Oh, bro, yeah, that was the big one.
Oh man,
Those
things are fucking gnarly.
something that was really big too back then was gassing a motherfucker.
Oh
Yeah, right? And I never understood that shit, dude. Shit bombing somebody. I'm like, what? Like, that's
That's gross.
weirdo shit, dog.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go shit in a bucket for 3 days. No,
No, and people were doing that shit. Like, it was,
they get all mixed
dude, there was
bleach
this one
powder
kid,
in it.
man. God, I can't
Crazy.
remember his name, man. There was this one kid that was just infamous for shit bombing.
What race was he?
He was a Mexican kid.
Usually they don't do that, but
No, yeah, he was fucked up, man. He had a lot of issues. Like, he was always flooding his cell and fucking.
oh, he's J Cat, not all there in the head.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, he was a cool dude, man. Like, he was really artistic and he could draw, but he was just gone.
Fuck, he was burnt out at such a young age. Who knows what
Yeah,
he's been
I
through?
heard it was from he smoked a lot of Sherm and shit, PCP.
That'll do it. I That'll do it. That'll cook your brain. But so you're starting to realize, there's a racial divide. You part of the woodpile now, and
Well,
what steps are up
it
there?
wasn't really like that yet, you know what I mean? But it was, you could definitely tell, like, um, so there was this one group, for instance, the AS, right? They called themselves the Aryan Skins. And it was started by this dude named Jeremy T. Scotter, who's a fucking piece of shit. Um, More on him later. We'll get to him
Okay.
later. He actually plays a pretty big role in this because he's the founder of this organization, right? That grows into the adult system too. So
Okay.
anyway, I saw organizations like his, right? And I just didn't vibe with it, man, because I'm not a racist dude. I'm not a skinhead. I'm not
Yep.
it's not with that, bro. Like,
Yeah, didn't grow up
I
like that.
believe in, like, I believe that just some cultures don't mesh, you know. Sometimes we're different races for a reason. We're different cultures for a reason.
Mhm.
And that's just how it is.
It's even goes way deeper in than race. It just can
Yeah,
come down to different religious beliefs. It doesn't
exactly.
always have to be so. And some cultures accept certain things, some don't.
Some don't,
And
dude.
people want to say it's racism, but I'm like, well,
I think it's a cultural thing, dude.
yeah,
When you
like
really, really get down to it.
you're used to this. We didn't grow up over here.
Yeah.
Like there's certain things they do that bug us, and certain things that we do that bug them. So it's like let's
It's a
just keep
two-way street.
bullshit to the minimum
Yeah.
type deal. Yeah. So
Yeah, man.
I think it's deeper than that. I think it goes religion, like
Oh
Muslims,
yeah.
Christians. That's a big one, man. In the free world, that's a big one. So it's not
Yeah,
just race.
and I saw that whole religious religious extremism when I got into my later years when I was overseas, but we'll get into that.
Yeah.
Um,
So you're in basically youth prison now. And
yeah, so I'm in this youth prison, man, and I get this opportunity to go to boot camp, right? And the boot camp is it was called JOBTC back then. And basically, if you went to this boot camp and you completed it, you got out early, right? That was the deal. But if you went and you got kicked out or you didn't complete it, you had to do all your time. You didn't get no good time. Like, you had to do your max, right?
Yep.
So I was like, "Fuck it, dude! Like, I'm gonna go." I've always been into the military. Like, it was ran by active duty Marines, so I was,
Oh, okay.
"Fuck yeah, I'm going, dude."
Yeah, hoorah.
Yeah, bro. So it was 120 days, just like Marine boot camp. It was ran by active duty Marines and one Ranger. Man, he got a lot of shit for that. But anyway, uh,
I know what you're talking about.
yeah, right. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
So I loved it, dude. I fucking loved it. Like, I loved it, man. Like, I didn't want to leave. And I was actually set to go to the Marine Corps because I graduated the boot camp and I told the commander his son was a recruiter. And they said they had this special deal where if you completed the program and blah, 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 they would overlook your juvenile crimes. right? And you would get accepted to the Marine Corps under a special contract or some shit. And so I was like all set to go, and I was going to go meet the Commander Bulldog's son, and I was going to fill out all of my ASVAB shit and do all my stuff, right? Well, I got out of boot camp, and well, let's just say alcohol kind of changed everything. I got home from boot camp and had a couple drinks, and it was like the old fucking old snake.
Trifecta.
Yeah, it was just back to the same old bullshit. And I ended up getting into some trouble with some cocaine, dude, and like it blew my chances of going to the Marine Corps.
Dude.
So I was like super. I was devastated, but it was nobody's fucking fault but my own, dude. You know, but at the time it was like, oh, I'm a victim of the system, man.
Yeah.
I was just a punk kid, man. I didn't have an understanding of reality, and I didn't grasp how important like a future is. I was living day to day. So I started kind of hanging with the wrong dudes again, and just got right back into the same bullshit. Except this time I started hanging out with this one kid, Dylan, and nobody knew it at the time, but he was doing heroin. And we got super shit-faced at this park in Seattle called Golden Gardens. It's kind of like an infamous park.
We kind of like
it's like
what was it?
Oh, it's like Alki Beach. It's a party beach, dude.
Oh, I got you. I was gonna say, is that like what they call it, Needle Park by the Seattle?
No, it's a place during the summertime where everybody goes. Shows off their cars and gets in drunk fights on the beach and have bonfires and shit.
Blow off steam. Yeah,
it's a cool spot, except it's fucking crazy. But anyways, so we're drinking there, and we leave, and we're like riding back to his place because he's got like this fucking dope ass house on Mercer Island that his fucking dad, his mom had MS and died. And his dad worked in California, so he just had this fucking house on Mercer Island to himself, and his dad gave him $1,000 a month. And just anyways,
Jesus,
he had a fucking dope ass Acura, and so anyways, we're on his way back to his house, and we're drunk as fuck, dude. And he was just like, yeah, blah 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 blah, heroin. And I was like, what? He's like, you want to do some heroin? And I was like, yeah, man, I've done that. You know, I don't know why I said that, but I lied. Right. And I like made up some story about how I fucking shot heroin. And he's like, oh yeah. And I was like, yeah. And so we get to his place, and he like busts it out. And I'm like, well, like, I don't know what to do. He's like, you ain't never done this, bro. And I was like, all right, man. Like, you got me, dog. So he makes me up a shot, dude, and I remember he had this water bed, man, and he's like, dude, just once I push it in, man, just lay back, dude.
Yeah. Well,
and holy fuck, dog. If that wasn't the greatest feeling of my life, you know what I mean?
Well, you mix it with alcohol too.
Oh yeah, I was faded, bro. So,
it's a different feeling.
Yeah, you know, it was. I look back on it now, and it was just like it was a life-changing moment, you know.
Oh yeah, I remember the similar thing. Did you puke?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I puked, but I was loving. I was like,
did you feel so much better? Yeah, that's not the best, but once you puke, you feel so much better. I used to tell people, why are you holding it in? Just let it out. You feel better.
Yeah, I just tell people, dude, just puke, dog. Trust me, like, you're gonna feel good.
Yeah, you're not gonna be feeling like your stomach is like. You ever get that feeling where your body moves and your stomach's like 3 seconds behind? Oh man,
that's exactly what it feels like, actually.
And you're like, okay, that's time to go to the bathroom. And it's never like just regular puke. It's like projectile.
Dude, yeah, it was like,
yeah, like
everywhere, bro.
It's
It
a
was
fucking
fucking,
mess, dude.
it was
Like,
brutal.
yeah, especially the first time you're like, I didn't know I could throw up this much.
Yeah, because I just kept throwing up, and then like
Mhm.
it probably happened the first like 3, 4 times I did heroin.
Yeah.
So he'd be having these parties, and I'd be talking to these girls, and I'd be like, hold on, and I'd have to.
Oh.
They were like, why are you keep throwing up? Like you like you started partying, like what? And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Thinking you're a fucking
thinking I'm
player.
being a fucking Mac, dude, but really
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Like,
you're just like,
oh,
what the
man.
fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. I've
But
been there, man.
eventually people caught on, dude, and yeah, it took over like an epidemic, man. It fucking did. That was 2003, 2004, like right that summer. And that was like the changing time where it was like people went from just partying, drinking to fucking shooting heroin and smoking oxys and shit.
Oh,
It was a crazy
yeah, I was
time.
gonna ask you the oxys back then. So did you do oxy before you ever did black?
No, no,
Oh, okay.
I actually was one of those like dudes that was like I just didn't get the pill thing. Like, why would you pay $80 for a fucking pill when you could spend $30 on some heroin?
Well, yeah. No, once the prices started going up, I used to get like, I used to call them peaches, and they were the 20 milligram, the
Yeah,
reformulated oxys, and I
yeah,
get like those for like $2 or $3. I just chew like 4 or 5 of them. Fucking, it worked, dude, and it wasn't killing my wallet, because you get like 30 pills that last you about like 4 or 5. You to say it
dude.
lasts you a week, it's 3 or 4 days.
I was about to say, man, those pills, man. They tore through America, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It was
And
really
what no one
bad.
really talks about is how bad the kick is off that, especially
Uh,
hydrocodone. Oh my god, it's up there with black and fucking Suboxone.
you know, I've had this argument with fucking dope fiends over the years. Um, they always, oh, well, I snorted it because the withdrawals aren't as bad. I'm like, bruh,
It's not how it works.
no, they're gonna be the same whether you fucking smoke it, snort it, shoot it, shove it up your butt, shit it in your dick hole. I don't give a fuck where you put it.
Yeah.
If you're taking it, you're gonna feel the same, dude. So all
Mhm.
that fucking I snort it because I don't want the withdrawals. Yeah, well,
The only
tell
way
me how you
to,
feel.
yeah, when that shit wears off, come back to me, and then
Yeah, dog.
the only way around that is you have to give it time between doses. But try
Yeah.
giving an extra fucking 5 minutes between doses. See how well that works out. I'll just wait 5 more minutes, and you're staring at the clock, man. This is the longest 5 fucking minutes. You know.
I remember my buddy Dylan, him being like, dude, I don't want you to get hooked on this stuff, man. So like make sure you
Too
don't
late.
do it 3 days in a row.
For me,
You
it's
know?
two.
Yeah. And so like I would do it for like 2 days and then stop for a day and then do it. And then that lasted for I think like 2 weeks, man.
It all discipline just goes out the window. Any
Yeah,
type
'cause
of
really,
discipline you used to have is zapped from you.
oh, bro, it destroyed a lot for me, man. Because like,
Yeah, yeah.
God, I had such a beautiful girlfriend at the time, Kyla, and like we had such a like great relationship, and it's the fucking heroin, man. It ruined a lot. We had plans of going to college together, and like I actually saw myself wanting to not like just kind of leave the whole criminal lifestyle behind because I liked this girl so much. Um, but once she found out about the heroin, it was pretty much just a matter of
Yeah.
time after that. She stuck around for I think 6 months after that. Yeah, that was rough, and then
Wow.
from there it's just like things got progressively worse, man. I got into selling drugs full time and started, getting into fucking things like crack and smoking crack and shooting coke, and it got
So
it got bad, man.
Yeah, no, it always starts off of you still have your discipline, you still like, all right, I'm not gonna do that today. And then it's calling your name from wherever you have it. You can literally hear it. You're just like, God damn.
Yeah,
Still don't realize at the time that this is a problem. You know, oh, I got it. I'm on top of it.
it was
I need
rough.
to try that. Yeah.
You know, and
But
then
so
just
you
admitting to yourself that you're an addict is not easy, bro.
no, but once you do it, at least for me, I was able to just it is what it is. But
Yeah.
so you went you did that year, right? Your first year in prison. Did you get clicked up then, or did you what happened your first year in
Well,
prison
so that
after
was
you got
juvenile prison. So I got out and was going to do the whole Marine Corps thing. That didn't work out. And then I got into selling drugs because, well, fuck, high school is over. You know, what the fuck am I going to do now? Everybody's gone off to college and shit or the military. A lot of my buddies went to the military after 9/11. So I was just kind of lost, man, and kind of fucking just bumbling my way through, just partying every day. You know, it was like a nonstop summer party with me. You know, like I was just that guy, bro, that
Mhm.
every day was a party. Oh, it's Monday. Well, fuck, let's celebrate fucking Monday.
Yeah, yeah.
You
And the
know,
big celebration is sitting in your favorite chair.
yeah, bro. Like
The
it's
big,
just yeah.
but
And it got to the point where it was just it was like okay, I got to do something, dude. So I started selling coke and got really big into selling coke. It was I was getting them real cheap zips for an ounce of coke, 420. As long as I bought multiple, but I was taking zips of coke over to Ellensburg, which is a small town on the other side of the mountains here in Washington. It's a little college town. So I would take about a quarter kilo every fucking other weekend up there. And I was making good money, man. I mean, dude, I was, I think at that time I was 17 still, maybe I was 18. No, I was 18. I was 18 by then. And I was renting a place in Bellevue at a little fucking nice little house I was renting and a little jacuzzi in the back and
mhm.
nice cars and um, doing my thing and I just I well, like any other motherfucker, man, sooner or later the party stops. Somebody that I sold dope to ended up getting caught and they fucking told on me and next thing I know is like I'm getting my fucking door kicked in and by East Side Task Force and King County Sheriffs and um I got caught up for selling cocaine and possession of cocaine, possession of a firearm, vehicular assault, talking just a whole array of charges, dude. So that was my first trip to prison, right?
Okay, for cocaine
Yeah.
distribution. All right.
So my first trip to big boy, actual adult prison was, um, what was that, 2006? No, 2005. It's 2005. And, I had heard stories of prison and, you hear all the horror stories and shit, right? So you're kind of dreading it. You're like, fuck, man. At this point, I'd been sitting in county. Well, first, real quick, is how I got arrested was fucked up, right? So I was really fucking big into the coke and crack and Xanax and shit at the time. So I had gotten released, right, bailed out and all this shit, and I had gotten my court papers in the mail, right? Well, I was so high on Xanax that I guess I took the court papers and ripped them up, and I missed court completely, right?
Oh,
So a few months goes by, and like I called my dealer, and he comes over and bring me some fucking coke and some shit, and my dad was living at my grandparents at the time because my dad was really sick, right? Um, my dad, by the way, my dad had liver failure, so he was he
mhm.
was
Okay,
he was really fucked up. For
that's a
for
bad
those that
way.
don't know about liver failure, when you have liver failure, your ammonia levels in your body build up, because your liver doesn't filter out the ammonia, and you start to act crazy, almost like you have dementia. And so my dad would like do crazy shit, dude. Like he'd come into my room at 3 o'clock in the morning and be like, "I need you to give me a ride to work." And he'd be like wearing a camouflage jacket and a fucking construction hat and like have a mag light and like just look like a crazy person, dude. And I'd be like, "Dad, you haven't had a job in fucking 20 years. Dude. Fucking are you talking about?" Like, so that was rough, man. That was rough, dude. It was hard to see my dad go from this big, like my dad was a big dude growing up, 20-inch arms, just a fucking monster.
Yeah.
And to see him into this shriveled up fucking little old crazy person was so hard for me. And so I got heavy into the drugs, man, and he did it with me, we did drugs together, dude. And so anyways, my dealer's over and my dad's like, "Oh, can you get me some crack?" So I'm like, "Sure, dog, give some crack." So I get him some crack from my dude. Apparently my dad wasn't happy with the amount that I gave him. So my dad goes inside and he calls the police on me.
What?
Yeah, bro. My dad was a piece of work, dude.
That's nuts, dude.
Yeah, so he goes and calls the fucking cops on me and tells them that, yeah, there's my son out in the driveway with his drug dealer and they got a bunch of guns and drugs. So next thing I know, the fucking Mercer Island cops are flying up the fucking hill. I tell my dealer to run. He runs and like jumps in the ravine, dude, and fucking like through sticker bushes. He got away. I don't know how the fuck he got away. I never saw him again. But they impounded his car. Like, the cops were there and I ran inside, like threw all my drugs in a drawer and locked the drawer and shit. My dad comes in. I didn't know my dad had called the cops at this point. I didn't know. So my dad comes in as I'm like hiding my drugs and he's like, "Oh yeah, just go ahead and hide everything, man. I don't know what's going on." And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know, dude." And I'm like, "I'm going out there. I'm going to go see what's going on." So I go out there because I'm like, "I don't got no drugs on me now. I'm good." I didn't know I had a warrant. So I missed court. So I go out there and they're like, "Justin, turn around, put your hands on your back." I'm like, "For what?" And they're like, "You got a warrant." I'm like, "For what?" And they're like, "Fucking, laundry list of shit." And I'm like, "Fuck, dude." And I remember that's when it clicked in my head. Oh yeah, that court paperwork. And so I looked at the cop and I was like, "Wait a minute. Why are you here? Like, why the fuck did you come here?" And I was like, "Did my dad call?" And he just looked at me and shook his head. And I was
Fuck.
like, "Oh man, dog." Well, that was my first trip to prison. So
Do you think your dad was just not right in the head? Because that's something that doesn't seem like he would. He was connected with the mob, so that's.
man, it's like, uh, I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Damn, dude. I couldn't imagine my dad doing that to me.
You know, um, I fuck. It's hard for me to think about because it's like I would never, especially him, especially because he knew what the system was like. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he'd been through all that shit. So the fact, like, I could never send my kid away. I just wouldn't be able to do it. I don't give a fuck what's going. Like, I couldn't do it. Short of my kid being a fucking pedophile or something.
Yeah, there's lines. There's lines, but
that's different. But
there's like only two things they can't come back from. Three,
yeah.
But two that I wouldn't be like, "What the fuck, dude?"
Yeah. So that's really fucked me up for a long time. And so anyways, I go to prison, right?
How many years did you get?
Let's see, what did I get for that? I think I got 36 months or something, like 3 years. So with good time, I ended up doing, God, I think I did 20 months or something, 21 months, some shit like that. almost 2 years. So I sitting in county and hearing everybody talk about prison, and it's like, yeah, man, when you get there, you're gonna have to ride with your race and blah blah blah. And I'm like, whatever, and I'm like, I was like, man, I'm not gonna do that. Like, I'm just gonna do my own thing. And I'll never forget that bus ride um, to prison, man, because on the way there, before getting like sitting in the booking area and everybody's getting shackled up, and everybody's talking big old shit and everybody's loud and woof woof and puffing their chest out and shit, and then 5 minutes from the prison, everybody gets real quiet, and it was just silence, and I'll never forget that, how just eerily silent it was on that prison bus. And I'll just never forget pulling up, man, and seeing those fucking guard towers and all the razor wire and the fences and the walls, and just thinking to myself, like this ain't Juvenile no more, dude. This is a whole different world. And you hear all the fucking horror stories, man. So it was definitely a life changing experience because, what was it, my third day there? I had moved in with this little skinhead kid named Jeff Peavy. He lives in Texas now. I just talked to him not too long ago. He's not a skinhead anymore. He's like turned his life over. He's sober. He's
It's good.
Yeah, he's really great kid, man. And we were celled up together, man. And I'll never forget, man. I don't know how he knew, but he was like, "Hey, man, tomorrow morning when the doors open for breakfast, dog, just hang back a little bit." I was like, "All right." He's like, "You'll see, bro." He's like, "It's about to go down." I was like,
Fuck.
"What?" And so, sure as shit, the doors popped for breakfast, and there was this little, I think he was native or Mexican, bro. He was native and Mexican. His name was Kirk Hernandez, right? He was from Vancouver. Super cool kid, a youngster, but he had a major time. He had like 10 years. And the night before, I guess some Samoan kid had been fucking talking shit to him at dinner or some shit. Something happened. I missed it, but uh, when the doors opened, that little Mexican kid, native kid, or whatever the fuck he was going to handle business. So when that door opened, man, and I remember the Samoan dude walking by, and he walked by Kirk's cell. And I remember he like looked. I remember peeking my head out. I was like, "Oh shit!" And I remember he looked in Kirk's cell, the little Mexican kid, and said something like this, blah blah blah, and then turned and walked off. And that's when the little Mexican kid Kirk came out of the cell, grabbed the Samoan dude by his like afro, his little fro, pulled his head back, and just started cutting into his neck.
Fuck.
And bro, just I'll never forget it, man. He almost
First
cut
time you
his whole
smell
fucking
blood?
head. His whole fucking head almost came off. Like I remember because I was standing behind, like looking out of my cell, and I could see the fucking skin like ripping. Oh my God. It was just,
That first time you smell blood too? Like a
oh
lot of
dude.
it?
Yeah. I was just
Stink.
going to say that. The smell, like I smell it right now. It was
Got
just,
metallic. You could
yep.
taste it.
Oh yeah. It was intense. Um,
Yeah.
I just remember being in awe. I was just stuck.
Fuck.
Yeah, like holy fucking shit. I didn't know. I mean, dude, growing up in like, Seattle, like I'd seen a lot of violence. I'd seen people shot, like I'd been in shootings and shit, but I'd never seen nobody get stabbed.
It's different.
It's a
It's
whole
primal.
different ball game, dude.
Primal, man. It's
Yeah, that's
yeah.
exactly what it was. It was very primal. There's something so very just intimate about stabbing someone. It's a whole different fucking thing, man. Um, so that was like my first fucking big thing in prison. So I was like, oh shit, like fuck.
Mm. They send you to a max or they send you to a medium?
So my first time, they the way they do it here in Washington is, so when you get to the system, you have, I think it's 30 or is it 38 or 40 points. It's one of those. You start off with, I think, 40 points, and then you get 10 taken away for your, if you're under 28, you get 10 points taken for that. Then you get 10 points taken for escape charges or felony lootings. And then you get 5 points taken for institutional violence, and so on and so forth, right? Until you get to 0 points. So anywhere between, I think it's 20 and 0 is maximum security.
Okay.
And like with me, my first time in, I got hit with almost every point, like age, fucking escape, fucking this, fucking that. So, but I got what was called an override. So I got to go to medium.
And they're using knives and mediums?
Yeah. Wow. Well, no, this wasn't even the joint yet. I was at the reception.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So they got the level 4.
So everybody's
guys,
mixed together. Yeah. In reception. So you go to what's called Shelton, right? WCC. So Washington Correction Center. So that's reception, right? That's where they get you. They classify you, and okay, are you a gang member? They take pictures of all your tattoos, and they figure out who you run with, and then they figure out where they're going to send you. Well, I was there, and then they gave me an override for medium custody. So I get shipped to Stafford Creek, which is a medium yard. It's kind of politics. There's quite a bit of politics there, but I was only there. I was only there not even a fucking month, and had a good little routine going. Like I had a couple buddies and shit. I hadn't seen nothing crazy yet, but I saw a couple fights, but nothing crazy. But then all of a sudden, one day they're like, "Roll it up, you're going back to court." I'm like, "What? I'm going back to court? I've only been in prison for a month."
Yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah.
So bam, I fucking go back to court. I go all the way back to King County Jail from fucking halfway across the state for a $30 discrepancy on my fucking fines. It was a $38 discrepancy. They had fucked up by, the amount or whatever on my fucking court fines. So that's what they brought me back for. They spent thousands of dollars in transport to bring me back for $38.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
State of Washington for you, dude.
Yeah. Sounds like California.
Well, so by the time I got back, I don't know. I still to this day, I don't know what happened, but when I got back, I got sent back to Shelton, which is the reception. Somehow they had reclassified me and decided, well, now you're going to closed custody, which is max. So from there, I got sent to Clallam Bay, which is it's like Pelican Bay, bro.
Okay.
The Bay, it's the Bay, bro. It's always raining, it's miserable, and it is full of violence. It's like they used to call it gladiator school because it was
that's where they send all the young ones, the wild ones.
That's where they send all the young gangbangers and shit. So that is where I was introduced to the AF, or the Aryan family. And that's the organization that I ended up joining years later. Well, not much later, but on my second trip to prison is when I got officially locked in. So my first trip, man, it was kind of, just, honestly, man, it was great. It was fun. It was fun. I had a lot of fun. We were tattooing. We were fucking shooting heroin. We were fucking... Dude, we were having sex with the fucking one female fucking what was her name, dude?
If she's still working, don't say her name.
No, she's not. She
okay.
What was her name, dude? She ended up getting cracked, dude. She was a gang investigator.
Oh shit.
She was one of the gang investigators, and me and the homies were fucking her, dude. Me and Big Andy and fucking Jeremy were fucking this broad. But anyway, she ended up, God, what the fuck was her name, dude? Lamo. Lamo. She had it was a French last name. It was
Okay.
anyways, anyways, so we end up like getting separated. I some shit went down and like we all end up getting separated and I get out, right? So I get out. That was 2006, 2007. It was 2007. I got out. And that's when I started doing a lot of like running dope for the organization. Um, did a
They
couple did a couple heavy hits, you know what I mean? Um, I
is
killed a
that
lot.
like what the brand would call prospecting type
Yeah,
deal?
yeah,
Okay.
basically. And speaking of the brand, so the AF was founded by a few different guys, right? Um, so one of them was this guy Double D, Dave Davidson. Um, um, the other was Randy Ortega, or Ortuga, and God, what the fuck was the other guy's name? RC, Richard Carmichael. So these three dudes started the AF, and Ortuga had connections with the brand. He was from California, and he was supposedly locked in with the brand. So he got permission to start the AF up here in Washington State from the brand. Well, years later, Ortuga ends up getting crossed out because he, I guess, did something. I don't remember what the whole fucking story was, but they thought he was working with the feds, but he wasn't. But just
That'll get rid of them.
it was just a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah. Someone
Anyway,
wanted his spot.
yeah, it was just somebody just fucking was hating on him and didn't like his get down, you know.
Had a good politicking game.
So, and that kind of leads to where I get really fucking into this shit is the guy that brought me in, Troy Carpenter, man, fucking great dude, man. I love that guy. Um, he brought me in. He's the one that kind of brought me in and showed me like because like the skinheads were trying to recruit me at the time, and I just fucking wasn't. I just didn't vibe with their whole.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
different. It's
yeah,
different.
bro. Every other word is an N word. You know, it's like I grew up listening to rap, bro. Like I'm just
Mhm.
not. I
Yeah.
don't. I don't. Yeah, anyway. Well, so the AF was more like they were all white boys, and when they all, you know, a lot of them like me, I studied Norse religion and the Satru, and but it was all about looking out for each other. It was about organization and money and power, and you were just gangster ass white boys. We weren't
Yeah.
racist, even though we had swastikas and fucking shit
It
like that.
that shit means different things in prison though.
Yeah, and see that's where
Yeah.
people like I had swastikas on me and shit, and I have a lot of cover up tattoos, but um, like my leg had swastikas and shit, and a whole bunch of my gang stuff and my shield and all that. But um, what people don't realize, right, is that they're like fucking Nazi. He's a Nazi. It's like, bro, first of all, the Nazis was a political movement.
Yeah. They're not
Okay,
skinheads.
it had nothing to do with the damn swastika. The swastika has been around long before Hitler bastardized it.
He flipped
But
it.
yeah, but anyways, but it was just a way of identifying like, okay, you're a white boy, like, that's
Yeah.
just part of the Aryan tradition.
It's patch. It's a badge of honor for going on a mission
Yeah.
successfully. Different things. It's not like, oh, but I'm just because it means that there doesn't mean I put one on me in the free world.
No, no, and looking back on it, like I wish I never did.
Yeah, because
But
I would have covered them up.
at the time, I thought that shit was cool. Um,
Yeah.
I did. I thought it was fucking cool, and I thought it was badass. Like people look at you and you have swastikas and you're tatted and you're fucking butt, like motherfuckers wouldn't fuck with you.
Yeah.
But it's like, man, Looking
I
back
need to
on
get a
it,
little more trouble.
I'm like, dude, it was stupid. It was dumb, and it was just, I was a kid, man, and I had been kind of like romanticized the whole lifestyle, and
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, you see all these fucking movies, and I blame a lot of it on music and entertainment, and the media. Is they glorify these gang members, and like nowadays, right? Like for instance, nowadays, like
Oh man.
they fucking glorify the shooter, like the kid who shoots everybody, right? Back in
Yeah.
my day, the shooter was the lowest dude in the organization. Like that was the guy, like fucking called dumb fuck to have him go whack the
Crash
dude.
dummy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's an idiot.
Yeah. He ain't got no brains. He's not gonna
The
make any
real
money.
gangsters didn't pull the trigger. Like,
They did when they were younger, but not. They don't have to
yeah,
anymore.
and so it's like it's just so backwards now, bro. And
Oh, they glorify rats, bro. Like,
well,
you see
yeah,
it? I mean,
that's a
I'm
whole
not.
thing, you know.
That's a different thing. Like, because they're doing it just like to do it. It's like,
See, and I get kind of conflicted about that because I cooperated with the federal government.
okay,
Um, my reason was a little different though.
we'll get to that. We'll
Yeah,
uh we'll go through your time and the Aryan family and all the shit that came with it. You know that you
yeah,
got to deal with, and then also trying to juggle your life while you're in and out. And then, is it a blood in, blood out organization?
yeah. So just
Okay.
on the shield, I wish I had a fucking. I wish. Well, I don't have. It's tattooed on me, but it's covered up. But I wish
Okay.
I had a picture of it. You could probably look it up, actually.
I'll probably find it. I throw
Yeah,
it up.
so it's like a shield, right? And then it's got the three blood drops for the three founding members, and the blood you'll spill for your people. And it's got the lightning bolts in one corner and fucking runes in the other that say AF. So it's blood in, blood out. Like yeah, I had to stab somebody. So it and that's kind of the reason. Like when I get down to why I left and why I did what I did is Troy, the guy who brought me in. They like when you fucking think of the like word gangster and he was the fucking epitome of gangster. Like he, dude, he was a tall, kind of built but not too built white dude, just completely covered in ink. Got the handlebars, the fucking
Oh,
glasses.
dude, you're saying
He's
I'm thinking of someone
California
exactly.
gangster,
Yeah.
right? And
Warren
fucking
Polio was his name. Fuck, what was his first name? But yeah, he's in bad standing, and he just had the same handlebar look. Just
yeah, dude, just the fucking. And
yeah.
I was just like, he was just a bad dude, like, and he had this reputation, you know, and so when he brought me in and took me under his wing, I had a lot of respect for Troy, and I still do. Um, so I got out, did a whole bunch of shit for the family, and you know a bunch of stuff. I ended up going back in
Okay.
2008, right, for possession of firearm, first degree, attempted robbery. Um, so I go back, and at this point, I'd kind of risen pretty high, just because of some of the stuff I had done and kind of the money I was making because I had family in Montana, so I was running dope between Billings and here. So I was making the organization a ton of money, and I was kicking back every month, dude. And
Oh, that's how we put
yeah,
smiles on faces with that.
oh yeah, dude, I was kicking in, bro. Fucking probably, I mean, on average, probably like 30, 40 grand a month. I was kicking them, dude. Yeah.
That'll get you
So
recognized.
yeah, so you know, I kind of got and like I tell people all the time, I'm not no super tough motherfucker. I'm not a super good fighter, but I'll fight. But that's not why I rose through the ranks. I rose through the ranks because of the money.
Business
And
savvy.
And then when it comes down to is that's all they care about. That's all they care about. How much fucking money you bring. And so anyways, I'm back in prison. This is 2008. So my daughter was born while I was waiting to go back to prison. So that was a big deal, right? I got this kid at home, but I'm trying to like still be this fucking gangster dude. And it was a battle in my head, but I was still committed. About a year into my sentence, a year and a half in, my dad died, or my little brother died. Sorry, my little brother died.
Oh shit!
My little brother got murdered. Right?
Fuck, dude. Was he affiliated with anything?
Oh man,
It was just we don't got to talk about it, bro.
he was just a little kid, man. He's just a 15-year-old fucking kid.
Wrong place. Damn,
Wrong
dude.
place, wrong time.
Fuck.
All over a girl. All over a fucking girl.
I'll never understand that.
No. So that really fucked me up. That sent me for a loop because he was a good kid. He was not. I wouldn't let him get involved with shit. Like I did. I used to force him to go to football practice and shit. Like
That's good though.
yeah. So he died. Then my dad dies about a year later, right? And I'm still in prison. Something happened. Well, I had just gotten transferred to Monroe from Column Bay. So Monroe is like fucking Camp Fluffy. Like everybody wants to go to Monroe. You're in prison in Washington, you want to get to Monroe because it's the only prison that's close to Seattle. And most people from Seattle from up here. So I get to Monroe and my dad dies like a month after me getting there. And I just fucking lost it. Some kid had said some shit like, I forgot what he had said even. He had like fucking, he was my cellie somewhere there, and I didn't even remember the dude. He was lame, just a fucking lame ass kid. And he was talking shit about me. So I went to the fucking yard and told him, look, man, fucking open your mouth about me again and I'm going to fuck you up. And he was like, I don't want no problems. And I was like, well, then shut your fucking mouth. And he said right there in front of everybody, I'm sorry, I apologize. So I was like, all right, it's a dead issue. Not even 3 days later, he's running his mouth again. So I told my boy, I was like, tell him to fucking come out the yard and we're going to fight. He comes back 5 minutes later. He's like, bro, dude's not coming outside. He said he's got conjugal visits and he's not trying to lose them. I was like, man. I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm going in here and up into his unit. We were in different units, bro. I was in like, I was on A-B side. He was on CD side. So I had to I like took my ID and I turned it around and like had somebody sneak me into the unit. Like I walked past the cop and like put my arm up so they couldn't see my ID. I fucking sneak into his unit. I go down to his tier and like, I saw him on the phone. And so I was walking past. So I see him on the phone and I had my homeboy, this Sereno dude, Dopey, fucking Dopey from Yakima. He went and I told him, I said, hey, fool, go grab that dude. Tell him to come smoke a cigarette with you in the bathroom. He's like, all right. So he comes back and dude walks in and the look on his fucking eyes was like, oh shit. Cause it was me and like 5 of my bros. And he tried fucking grabbing the door and we just grabbed him and drug him back in there. And I told everybody to get the fuck out. And I beat the shit out of him for like 5. I beat him so bad, like my arms were tired. Like
you went a little overboard, but
yeah, I was
you're going through a lot of shit.
I lost it, man, you know, and I feel bad, but at the same time, it's like the dude had been running his mouth. Like I'd warned him once
in front of the yard.
Yeah. I told him like, stop, bro. I'm going to hurt you.
There's nothing else you could have done. He's lucky he didn't get stabbed.
No. And, you know, and that's another thing is since we were at medium and that's the only reason he got beat up. Cause if we were at closed, I was going to stab him. Okay. In fact, I wanted to stab him, but the dude who had the keys for my car at the time who was there, Virgil, he was like, no, bro, no.
He'll tell on you, man.
Yeah, he's like, bro, this
You'll
is
get
medium.
attempted.
He's like, this ain't Column Bay, this ain't Walla Walla, this is Monroe. Like, chill.
Mm-hmm.
So I beat the shit out of him. Had he just stayed on his fucking bunk, like I told him to, and somebody fed him soups for a week, he would have been fine. But this dumb motherfucker decides he's going to go all night and then go to the gym the next morning and pretend to get elbowed in the face. And it was like, bro, your face, like his shit was mangled. Like his lips were like split and swollen. His eye was, his orbital socket was broken. His nose was broken. And they were like, yeah, right, dude. Like, you clearly have been fucked up. So they take him to the hole and hold him in the hole for like a week. And then next thing I know, they come and get me.
It's a good thing you didn't stab him. Whether they try and charge you though.
Yeah. So I ended up doing 2 years in the hole for that.
So do they is that like they have the shoe up there?
Yeah.
Like Corcoran shoe, where they send
you. They call it
18
IMU up here, Intensive Management Unit.
Okay, yeah.
Instead of Security Housing Unit.
And you go there for like 18 months, do a step down program, all that.
Well, so back then they didn't have like step down and none of that shit. It was just you do a program and they evaluate you to see if you're safe to bring out. So basically, yeah. So what happened was essentially I got a year program. They only gave me a year program, right? But after my year program was up, they just kept me in. They would say ADSEG due to security threat group fucking which is they call STG, which is code for gang, like you're a gang member, you're part of an STG group. Due to STG affiliation, we recommend keeping IMU for safety and security of the institution.
So they validated you, basically.
Yeah, so basically, I couldn't get out of the shoe, bro.
So even if you left prison and came back, they'd throw you back in the shoe, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
You got, some states California calls it validated. They got the STG, and I've heard that in like Georgia and Florida. They got like STG1 and STG. Yeah. And they have like different tiers.
While I was in the hole, though, my grandma died. Oh no! First, my uncle died. Sorry. First, my uncle died. That was rough because me and my we weren't super close, but he's my uncle, man. So, and then my grandma died a month later after that, and that was rough because my grandma basically raised me, man.
Yeah.
So all that was left was me and my grandpa, and my daughter, who I didn't really know. So, anyways, this is about the time. This is 2011 now. And everybody had just died. My grandma had just died. And I was starting to go through a lot of changes mentally. I was just all the death that had happened in my life and all the violence and everything. It was like, life is so fucking precious, man. Like, people don't really sit and think about how amazing life is and how short it can be for people. Like, it could all end tomorrow, and you would have never known that this was your last day. So I was really just kind of tired of being in a box, man, and spending my existence in a fucking cage while all of my people I grew up with were, living their lives, man. Like, some of them had followed the same path I did, but the majority of them kind of grew up, once they hit their late teens, 20s, they're like, fucking, what am I doing? But me, I was so committed to the lifestyle and wanting to be some like big tough gangster dude, that I was willing to like throw everything away. Um, that's like, that's something that also gets me, is like a lot of these people talk shit. Um, like I get a lot of shit from people. Oh, you dropped out and you cooperated. It's like, bitch, I lived that life. Like, did you? Did you really? Like people say they did, but they didn't live it like I did. And
Mhm.
I felt like I had given my everything, my life, my freedom, my family, my blood and tears to this organization, to this lifestyle. But what was I getting in return, man?
Longer sentence.
Yeah, I wasn't getting anything out of this, man. I'm not like making a life for myself. I'm not just setting up a future. I don't like, there's nothing to gain. And I fucking all clicked one day and I was like, holy fuck. And that's around the time when I heard Troy was about to get stabbed, the guy who brought me in.
So can you tell the, if you can or can't, just let me know or move on. Can you tell the backstory of what he did, why they were going to hit him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's all fucking came
Okay.
out now. And he's never getting out, but he's in a different state and he's dropped out. Yeah, it's all said and done. But so basically, Troy's a lot like me in the sense that like he wasn't a really amazingly tough guy, but he was smart and he was charismatic, right? And he could talk. Like me, I can talk my way out of anything. And people don't like that. People don't like guys like me and him. They just you're a threat to those who made their come up through these. Um, they saw us as a threat, so people started to make this rumor up that he was working for the feds, and he fucking wasn't. It all came out later that he was not. He was not talking to the feds. He was not wearing a wire and all this shit. However, he had been getting fronted dope under the AF name, like like I'm AF, give me dope, basically, like which he wasn't supposed to be doing, and he was letting dudes. I don't know if this is true. I to this day I don't think it's true because it doesn't sound like something he would let happen. But this is people said that he was letting people say they were AF and they weren't. You know what I mean? Like he'd show up at a fucking yard and be like, "Yeah, bro, you know, yeah, you can, yeah, you
Uh,
stay." You know what I mean? And like they weren't locked
that,
in,
yeah, that doesn't sound.
and it just didn't sound like something he would do because he was one of the like first guys, man. He was one of the original dudes, so from the fucking late '80s. So it was kind of weird, and then that's when I heard he was going to get stabbed, right? And I had made a decision that week. There's just another dude on the tier. I'll say his name, Anthony Clemens. He goes by. He was one of the head dudes at the time. And he told me that Troy was going to get stabbed within the next week at Walla Walla. Well, that night I thought about it, right? And I did. I mean, I really did. I thought about it for hours, dude. I decided that I was going to let the gang investigators know that Troy was going to get stabbed. I didn't want to see him die. He was, like I said, he was a very good friend to me, and I looked at him like a brother. And but besides that, he was one of the fucking head. He was one of the top dudes. Like you, it's like taking out one of your founding fathers for the
Yeah.
country. Like it's not right. Um, that dude had put in more. He got a life sentence for the organization, dude. He only
Gave
had a
everything up.
10-year sentence, and he went and stabbed a cop because the cop had fucked up some shit with some. It was just a fucking. He literally gave his life
Yeah,
for that.
he gave everything. Multiple
And
times over, it sounds like, because you said he had multiple life sentences.
yeah, he's. I mean, that guy, man. Fuck.
Well, I like also seeing sometimes, people seeing these organizations aren't what they're supposed to be and where they're headed or all that. And then
At
the
first, it was.
bond, yeah, see, that's how it always starts. And then it turns into money. But the bond between two friends and two brothers was stronger than the
Yeah.
bond, like the want for money. So I respect that. I don't have an issue with dropouts, man. I was never in a gang, but
Yeah.
the issue I have is with when people come out in public and still pretend they're active. That's when I'm like,
No,
okay,
that's where I like that whole 6ix9ine dude
yeah,
and like a lot of these like I'm really against a lot of this media shit and this fucking
yeah, me too.
entertainment stuff because
Oh my god, the Kardashians.
oh dude, they're the most evil fucking people, man.
Yeah.
I have a daughter, dude, and so it's like
Mm-hmm.
why aren't they teaching these girls how to act like women instead of sluts? It
Yeah.
just blows my
I don't
mind.
I don't know. It's and why are the parents? It's a whole separate conversation, but
Yeah, that's
it's
another
crazy.
day, dude. But I just I felt like I owed it to Troy to look out for him. So I hit up the gang investigators, and and this is where shit got fucked up. Is that I hit up the gang investigator. I told them what I wanted to tell them, and they said, "Look, we're going to be honest with you. Not just we, but the FBI." So the FBI, I didn't know this at the time, but the FBI has a division that is solely dedicated to prison gangs. I did not know this. Um, I got visited by, I'm not going to say his name, but Agent so and so, pretty much like right after I spoke to the gang investigators, and they said that we've been looking into you because I was doing a lot of tax shit for the organization back then. I was really good with numbers, bro. And I had these little copies of these tax forms, and I would to get the max tax return, I put in all these numbers. So I was getting dudes like 5, 10 grand tax fucking returns, man. But
Nice.
it
Yeah.
was all fraudulent shit. Um, the feds told me flat out, like we've been looking into you and and this guy, blah blah blah, and pretty much the whole organization. We're gonna come crashing down on all you fucks. And I was like, oh my god, like I just was thinking about getting my life together. Now you're telling me that. And so he said, look, man, basically we're gonna give you a choice. Like you can either do the tough guy thing, keep your mouth shut, and probably spend the next 60, 70 years in prison, never see your kid. Your daughter's probably going to go to foster care now because all my family members are dead. It's just my grandpa, who was fucking 90 at the time. And so I had a lot of I was like, Jesus Christ, dude. And I said, well, what do you want? And I remember asking, like, what do you want? Because I was not going to testify. I wasn't going to do it. I didn't care. I had made up my mind. I didn't care. I wasn't going to get on the stand and testify. And they said, look, all you have to do is drop out. Write down everything that you've done illegally, admit to the tax stuff in writing, and we'll leave you alone. And I was like, what?
Is this a trap?
I didn't think that's what they were going to say. Um, and I really want to say the agent's name because he's such a cool dude, man. Like he fucking saved my life. But I'm not going to say his name because he's still working. But
Hmm.
that dude fucking saved my life, man, because his boss didn't want to do it. His boss didn't. They wanted to fucking crack me. Um, and I remember hearing part of their conversation out in the hallway, and he was just like, "Bro, this kid's too damn bright to be this stupid." Remember him saying that, and I was like, "What does he mean? Like, like, I'm too bright to be this stupid." And that's when it hit me. I was like I gotta change my life, man. I'm a smart kid. Like, there's no reason why I should be wasting my life away. And that's what I got out of that. And the fact that somebody who I didn't know, who was on the opposite side of the battlefield from me, essentially my enemy, is telling me that he's going to give me an opportunity at life. And that fucking floored me, dude. Like, I went back to my cell and cried because I had never had anybody who cared. Um, Throughout my entire um, career, had I just had somebody who reached out and really showed me that they gave a fuck, I might have changed my life a long time ago. But I never had that. So, and the fact that this agent was doing that, it meant a lot. And so I dropped out, and it was one of the best decisions I ever made, man, because it allowed me to walk away from all that ignorant bullshit, all that fucking violence, all that negativity, all that. Um, it was like a snake eating its own tail. I mean, it was just, you know, I got, I finally was able to live my life, and I went to a dropout yard for my last 6 months. They let me out of the hole, which was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Um, they got me to a what they call a SNY yard, dropout yard.
So it's SNY in Washington too?
Yeah, that's kind of a newer term they're using, but
Okay.
back then it was just a dropout yard.
Okay.
Um, and that, man, like, fuck, man, it really changed a lot for me because I got out. And now, mind you, oh shit. So I got out of the hole. I have 6 months left. About to go home. 45 days to the gate, my grandpa dies. So he was my last surviving family member. And that was really hard for me, man, because me and my grandpa had a rough relationship, but towards the end there, we became really tight. And he's an old World War II fucking
Oh
vet,
yeah.
you know, just an
Got the
old
nail.
Navy guy, dude.
Yeah.
And I just, God, man, it really killed me because we had so many plans to do stuff together. And he was from Northern California, from Visalia.
Oh, okay.
So he was going to take me and show me where he grew up, and in Susanville and all around there. And
Oh shit. He would.
yeah, he's out there by Nevada, damn near.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we never got a chance to do that. But when I got out, man, I didn't have any family. Like, my kid had been taken in by my daughter, or my kid's mom's mom. Um, Let me rephrase that. My kid's mom's ex-boyfriend's mom. The
Crazy.
lady's not even related to my daughter. It's my kid's grandma's ex-boyfriend's mom. The lady's fucking crazy. She's a liberal extremist and she's a wacko. Yeah, she's got my daughter fucking sexualized at 14 years old. My daughter's wearing bras and shit on Instagram and talking about crazy. I'm working with, like, I'm finally able to get through to my daughter now,
Good.
but
Yeah.
and she's starting to kind of wake up to all this craziness that grandma put into her head. Yeah, she got her on birth control at 13, like, to say that it helped with her periods, and I'm like, I don't give a fuck if it helps with her periods. That's giving her a ticket to have sex.
Yeah. You're
Um,
okaying sexual activity in their mind.
right. Uh, so I've been working real hard with my kid with that shit, but
Yeah.
I get out, dude. So back to 2012 and shit. I get out, and I didn't have any family, and my kid was living with the crazy liberal broad, and she wouldn't let me see my kid because she thought she still does think I'm some fucking monster. And anyway, um, I got my family's inheritance, man, and I kind of went crazy. I relapsed and started smoking crack and doing heroin. And pretty soon all that money ran out, and I was living out of a car. And my buddy who had came back from Iraq was telling me about the French Foreign Legion. And I just kind of looked into it, man. And next thing I know, I'm selling my fucking car and I'm on my way to St. de Gaulle Airport, dude.
Jeez.
Charles de Gaulle Airport, sorry, in France. And I remember I did a little bit of research, right? But like, mind you, this is 2011, 2012, no, 2012. So there's not like a whole lot. Like the internet's not what it is now. And so all I knew was that show up, my passport, and um, shower shoes and some fucking towels and shit and underwear, and that's it. I show up. I ended up going to Oban, um, which is outside of France. There's a couple places you can go. You can go to Oban or you can go to Paris, right? I heard that if you went to Oban, you had better chances of getting accepted. So that's what I did. You go and mind you, it's very the Legion is steeped in tradition, dude. I mean, hundreds of years of tradition. They still carry around the wooden hand from their general that got killed in Cameroon in Mexico. You know, like,
Really?
yeah, it's
He had
very,
a
yeah, he had a
so
wooden hand. It was,
wow.
yeah, it's a trip. Like it's almost like fucking like it like out of them like it's like movie type shit. They carry around this glass box with this wooden hand, like um but they don't owe any allegiance to France. It's all everything is about the Legion. Our motto is Legio Patria Nostra, which is the Legion is my motherland. So that shit changed my life, dude, because and to this day, man, like I love France. I love France with all my heart. They gave me a chance when my own country wouldn't. I didn't owe France anything. I didn't owe them any allegiance. I didn't owe them nothing, dude. Um, and they didn't owe me anything. But they gave me a chance to fight, and man, they really changed my life, dude. It gave me a chance to get some redemption. You know, like after 9/11, a lot of my buddies ended up going off to the Marine Corps and fought in Fallujah and Najaf and Afghanistan and shit. And I always felt like I had failed. You know what I mean? Like I didn't quite meet the fucking. I wasn't there, and it gave me a chance to kind of redeem myself. And the Legion's rough though, man. The Legion's very rough. It's very hands-on discipline.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Something they also have you do. It's kind of crazy. If you get in trouble, like me, I was always getting in trouble, dude. So the friend in the Legion, you don't eat shit, dude. They don't feed you fucking nothing. You fucking starve, and it sucks.
Damn.
Breakfast, I'm not even shitting you, every single day, 24, 365, bro. Coffee, black coffee, and a baguette. That's all you get. If you're lucky, they'll give you maybe some butter or
Something more, so a
jam
little
or
more
something.
calories.
Yeah, that's it, dude. They'll put 2 baguettes out on the table and a pot of coffee, and you gotta fucking just. I mean, I saw motherfuckers eating out of garbage cans and shit, dude.
Damn.
Yeah, it was crazy, dog.
So with the French Foreign Legion, right? You kind of got a second chance of missing out on the Marine Corps, the deal you had with them. So did they send you through boot camp and weapons training and
Oh yeah,
all
yeah.
that stuff? So
Yeah.
how'd they have that set up?
Well, it's kind of in different stages, right? So like when you first get to the Legion and you knock on the door and you say, I'm here to join the Legion, blah blah blah, right? Immediately, like before you do anything, they have you go do pull-ups. So they bring you back through this. They open up these big freaking like wrought iron fucking wood, iron and wood doors that have been there for a couple hundred years. They open those and you walk in, and they ask for your passport, and they usually have a guard who's on duty who speaks both English and French. Um, so immediately after that, you hand over your stuff, and they tell you pull-ups, and they'll have the guy do one pull-up to show you. And bro, when I tell you it is a dead hang pull-up, it is like, and stop and then pull, and you have to bring the bar to your collarbone. So you have to get at least 6 to 7, at least 6 or 7. And so I got 7. I fucking barely made it, dude.
That's fuck.
Yeah,
I don't think
I was like, I didn't think I was gonna make it because I got like to like number 3, and I was like, fuck. Because the bar is different, dude. Like I had been training, I had been trying to get ready, but they use a really thick bar, and it has this old paint on it that's kind of like smooth. So your hands slip. You can't get it. You can't grip it because it's too big around, and it's slippery. So like I'm trying to do pull up, and it's really high up in the air, so you have to jump. And so it's just it's rough, bro. And then just because you get through that doesn't even mean you get accepted. Like then for the next 2 weeks, you have what we call the Gestapo meetings, and basically it's the Legionnaires' intelligence unit fucking grilling you. Why are you here? Why did you come to France? Why would you give up everything to come here? So people, they really want to get into why the fuck you're there. And so they did a lot of like, dude, they brought up fucking like Facebook pictures and like fucking shit I had no idea existed. Like I was like, dude, I remember that party. Yeah, I didn't know I was wearing a toilet seat around my neck, but okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they were like, drugs, you use drugs. And I was like, I lied. I almost got kicked out for this, bro. I lied at first, right? And they knew I was lying. Before they asked me, like, I try to tell people before they go to the Legion, just fucking tell them the truth because they already know the answers. They were like, no, you're lying. And I was like, no, man, I don't do drugs. And they're like, you're lying. We know you're lying. I finally admitted, okay, fine. Well, why did you lie? We should kick you out right now. We don't like liars. And I was like, I was ashamed. And that kind of like was like, so you were ashamed. So what you did is wrong. And like, I was like, I just want an opportunity to redeem myself. And then, so you get past that, and then they go a little bit more intense. Okay, so why are you here? Well, I told you why. I want a chance to redeem myself. Why are you here? Like, why the Legion? Why military? Why? And I guess what they're looking for, and I'm not even sure. Like, this is kind of speculation on my part, but it's kind of something along the lines of what I said is like, I just want a chance to kill bad people. I just want a chance to kill. I want a chance to fight evil. And I think that's kind of what they were like, okay, fucking, you're honest, You're not like, oh, I just want to fucking be part of the military, or I want to like do right for my country. It's like, no, They just want a motherfucker who's going to go kill bad people. Yeah. And so from there, you go into what's called, from there, you basically go to, that's if you pass the Gestapo meetings, if they even accept you past that point. Then you get Yeah, I'm drawing a blank here, dude. You go to God, what is it called, man? Castell. You go to Castell, right? And that's when you start actual training. Because
Okay.
there's a joke in the Legion that your first weapon is a broom, and that's true. Because for the first like month you're in the
Nathan, dude.
Legion, you don't touch a fucking thing but a broom.
Okay.
So you're
Some discipline.
basically, yeah, you're basically just like fucking a janitor at a hotel. You know what I mean? For a while,
Hmm.
or they ask you a bunch of questions. That's what it feels like. But anyway, after that, that's when you start training. Is when you get to Castell, and or they call it the farm. Um, so from there, you go if you make it past that first stage. Sorry, you get what's move on to what's called rouge, or like rouge phase or red phase, and that's kind of when you're like, okay, I think I'm gonna get accepted. You know what I mean? Like they give you a gun and they teach you some military tactics and short range patrols and long range patrolling and communications and blah 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 blah. And mind you, every day you're learning French, dude. Like because every night we would have to go to a classroom, and for an hour and a half we would do French. During the day, you were paired up with a French speaking person. So if you didn't speak French, they paired you up with someone who did and who also spoke your language, right? So
Smart.
yeah, it was cool, man, because it's a very unique way that the Legion does it. It's like it's very immersive, man. Like when I say immersive, I mean like fucking you better know your shit or you're gonna get slapped in the mouth.
Old
So
school.
you learn pretty quick, bruh. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Um, so it's cool. It's very old school in the fact that there's no I'm gonna go complain because you mistreated me type bullshit. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
All that woke fucking bullshit. None of that, dude. It's old school, bro.
Yeah.
Like they'll kick you in the fucking mouth while you're doing push-ups.
Fuck.
Yeah, there's this one
Fuck.
punishment called chewing the rocks, matter of fact. And it's where it's kind of I never saw it while I was there. I've heard about it, you know what I mean? But it's kind of a legendary form of punishment in the Legion. But basically, they'll have you do a physical exercise, and they'll fucking stuff your mouth full of these white rocks, these little white pebbles, and they'll slap you. And like just it's pretty fucked up, dude.
Yeah, I don't know how I don't think I could put rocks in my mouth.
No, I mean, like I said, I never saw it, but
Yeah, it's just probably someone saying it, but the day it does happen, you
I'm
know.
sure that there's probably a little bit of truth to it because back in the original, like the old Legion days, back when they were fighting in Algeria and um, fucking Libya and fucking Algiers and shit, like the rep, the regiment I was a part of, has a saying called "Marche ou creve," which is "March or die," and essentially is out in the desert when we were fighting like in Morocco and Algeria and shit. Is there would be the enemy would be they were fighting Muslims back then, and essentially what would happen is if you fell back or you couldn't march or keep up with the pack and you fell back, you're dead, dude. We're
Yeah,
not going to
they're
stop.
gonna
We're
get
not
you.
going to stop for you. Yeah, and they would the enemy would follow the legionnaires and wait for stragglers, and they'd kill them and shit. So that's where the saying "march or die" comes from.
Yeah, a little colder than the core.
Oh
Leave no
yeah,
man behind. A little colder.
yeah.
That's
It's and another thing the Legion is big on is running, which almost failed me because I suck at running, dude. I'm like the worst
me
at
too.
it. Yeah, bro. I fucking suck at running, but
I'm slow, dude. I'm so slow.
yeah, man. Well, for me, it's like the breathing. I I figured it out later on as I got better at with the Legion and stuff. It's all in your breathing. You got to control your breathing. But I wasn't good at that shit at the time, dude, and it was fucked up, and I was having a hell of a time. And there was a couple times when I almost quit, man, where I
Yeah.
was just like, I just want to go home, bro. But then I would think to myself, like, I don't really have a home anymore. You know what I mean? Like, my family's dead. What am I thinking? So that's just kind of kept me going, man. And then the next thing I knew, it was like I was getting my fucking acceptance paper, my contract, and I was doing my Kepi Blanc ceremony, and I was getting accepted in the Legion. And then the next thing I know, I went off to. So I got I got slated for what's called the rep, right, which is Duseme rep, which is the parachutist, like a paratrooper regiment.
Okay.
It's like the equivalent of an Army Ranger, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I got slated for, man. And people that don't know, the rep is separate from the Legion. Well, it's part of the Legion, but it's separate, as in it's based on Corsica, which is an island off the coast of France.
Okay.
Fucking beautiful, bro.
Yeah, dude. It's right there in between Italy and France and all that shit.
Oh, dude,
Sardinia.
it was so beautiful, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I'm fucking.
Mediterranean.
I mean, we stayed in an old hotel from like the 1930s, right? It was like this old
Nice.
fucking brick hotel. It was fucking amazing. It was right like a block away from the beach, and we had this huge compound, and it was blue water and fucking.
Mm-hmm.
And the Legion is very unique in that you can drink. You can drink every night at dinner. They give wine, so like
Yeah.
it was a great time, man.
That's where all the budget goes, is to good wine.
Oh man. Well, the Legion actually. So the thing I love about the Legion, and like if I wanted to go back to France right now, I could have a place to live.
You're a
I'd be taken
citizen?
care of. No, so I didn't stay in long enough. I could have got my citizenship because I got shot while I was serving for France, but we'll get to that in a second. Is
Okay.
So for those that don't know, like the Legion is not like the U.S. military in any sense. And one of the biggest things is that once you retire, like you never really retire from the Legion, and the Legion will always take care of you. They will always provide a place to live. They will always provide food and money for you. So there's places out in the French countryside, these huge villas where Legionnaires can go live after they do their time.
Wow.
And they actually have their own wineries, and they have award-winning wines. And there's fucking Legionnaires there that are like 90 years old,
Just making wine.
just making wine, dude.
Oh, wow.
Straight up old school killers making wine.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You and that other Navy SEAL,
Oh God.
that dude, oh, he drives you nuts. He got on my nerves a little bit too. You know what I'm talking about?
Old Taylor Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I actually had a lot of I had some interaction with that dude when he first came out, and me and him talked quite a bit. Me and him had a falling out, dude. That motherfucker, man. He started hanging out with that Wes Watson dude.
Yeah, that was major. And Wes brought him in on his scams.
Yeah, dude. And I messaged TCAV, dude, and I told him, I was like, bro, that dude is the epitome of shitbag. And I told him, I was like, stay away from that dude. He's a fucking no good. He's a fucking liar. Half the shit he says is not true. And there's paperwork showing he's a liar. Like all this stuff.
I have it.
Yeah. And old fucking TCAV hits me back, and he's like, bro, you should really be careful about who you talk about. And I was like,
yeah, I'm afraid of Wes Watson.
And I was like,
every
are you
fucking
kidding me? That's when I knew. That's when I was like, Wes got to him, dog. You know?
Yeah.
I mean? He's got his hooks into him.
Well, I hope he's not next. The next person Wes brings down.
Well,
Wes is going down himself.
Yeah, I saw that little fucking little fake ass little wannabe fight that he got into.
Fucking hit him in the head with the
Yeah, with
dumbbell,
a
like,
fucking weight belt, bro. Like
and you have 4 other people around you. Like, he came
that's
by
not a fair
himself.
fight.
No, should have went out anyway. Wes was never going to give it to him.
No, he should
So,
have gone out there like he said he would, like a grown man, and fight him one on one, like a man,
mhm.
like he said he would, and he didn't. He's a bitch. I'll tell you right now, I'll fight Wes Watson at flat ground any day, dude. I hate
Yeah,
that.
I would too. I don't
I
like him.
I would love to get my hands on that dude.
He got a few of my friends popped by telling some hiding spaces with cell
What?
phones.
Oh, I
Yeah,
think I heard about this.
yeah, a few of my friends. They
I
they
thought that was
started cracking Kern Valley. They started cracking Corcoran and shit. Where Wes was saying, "Oh yeah, we made shelves, and they let us hang shelves like self-made in the shop or wherever we made them in the cell, and we get just enough to put the cell phones when they got flat enough in, and then we just cover it up with like a piece." Still, they were still doing that.
this motherfucker, man. God,
That's
yeah, I
not all.
really don't like that guy, man.
I don't like him either. I'm glad he is where he is because there ain't no woodpile to back his ass up in Florida.
Dude,
Just
he's
a tough
such a
guy.
piece of shit.
Yeah, those brothers are gonna have. We'll see how skinny Wes is when he comes out.
Yeah.
Unless he
Yeah.
buys
Well,
PC somehow.
I was gonna say he's I can almost guarantee he's probably in a cell, single cell, you know what I mean? Kept away from everybody else. And yeah.
Dude's a trophy.
Oh yeah, bro, yeah. Fuck yeah. I'd love to beat his ass.
Yeah, that
Fuck.
dude.
He's a
Oh,
scumbag, man. You know, and he fucking what really got me was when he did that. What was that like fresh and fit fucking
yeah, where he's just talking to Joe Blow.
yeah, when he's picking on that little pudgy guy. It was like, dude, leave the guy alone, bro.
And he was like, "Yeah, maybe I am packing, maybe I'm not." And then Wes took a couple steps back, like he had the
Yeah, that
brown
dude's
shit on his pants, like he shit his pants. It was just a bad look. Like if that didn't turn people off to him, nothing will.
and
That's
that's
their
kind
job.
of what got me about the whole Taylor Kavanaugh thing is because that was like after all that shit had happened. So I'm like, how are you hanging out with this guy?
Yeah,
It
yeah, they
actually
did get.
made me really mad because the Legion is a lot like I mean, I don't know. I don't know enough about the SEALs. I don't. I'm not even going to pretend like I was on their level,
Mhm.
but it is similar in the sense that it is a brotherhood, right? And it's not easy to get into, bro. And so to have one of like to see a guy that is a Legionnaire act like fucking TCAV is, it pisses me off. Like,
Yeah, he's a little braggadocious. He when he first came on, I really liked him. I'm like,
yeah,
damn, dude,
yeah,
this guy got a good story. And then he got hanging out with people with money, and some
yeah.
people
Then
fall for it.
he just kind of went into this whole different little like
He
playboy.
tried starting to people would message him, and he just try and sell him a workout program.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
dude, people
Because
aren't
me and him
messing.
used to message each other all the time, and like I told him after that whole Wes Watson thing, I was like, you know, fucking, I'll never talk to you again or some shit. And I ended up sending him a message like 4 months after that. And I was like, look, man, I just, you know, I hope you're okay. I haven't heard any or seen any videos of you or nothing. So I hope you're all right.
Yeah, I don't
All I
want
got
anything.
back was a message saying, if you'd like to try my fucking, whatever the fuck, 30-day fucking bitch ass fucking shit, then sign up.
It's
And I
probably
was
not
like,
even him on there anymore.
yeah, well, that's what I figured. It was like some automatic message thing that shoots
Yeah,
out. Fucking, yeah,
yeah.
I was
He actually I messaged him a couple times, and then he tried to sell me that. I'm like, okay, I know what time you're on.
yeah, he's a real piece of work, man. And it really sucks because it was like, you know, he was in the Legion, so I don't know. It's just,
Brothers in arms, you know.
fuck.
Yeah, but
Anyway.
yeah, and so you're going through. You get your ceremony, you get your gun and everything.
Oh yeah. So do my Kepi Blanc ceremony and I'm in the Legion now and I go to Corsica for training with the rep, and from there we go to French Guyana and do jungle commando training, which was fucking hell. 2 weeks of fucking
Oh
hell.
my
And when
god.
I mean hell, I mean
That's the hell week for the French Foreign Legion. That's
Look,
like
bro, I don't like spiders, bro. Okay, I don't fucking do spiders. I don't do fucking snakes. I don't do fucking
the humidity is
no,
the one that I can't stand. I'll live the snakes and the spiders. Just don't have any fucking humidity.
bro. We were eating fucking iguanas and fucking because yeah. So
Yeah, that's
the
next
way
level.
it is it's a jungle commando course, and you're there for 17 days, and you have to basically they just set you out in the fucking jungle and say here survive. Yeah.
It's kind of what the Green Berets do.
Yeah. So, we're having to figure out how to burn or how to build little platforms to get up off the ground to sleep. We're having to figure out how to hunt for food. We're having to figure out how to build fires in the jungle, which was a fucking headache.
All the wet wood.
Yeah. Yeah. And we were there during the wet season, dude. Which
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So, literally, the whole 17 days I was there, it rained 16 of those days. I almost got trench foot a couple times. Like it was bad.
Probably didn't have enough socks.
No, you get 3 pairs of socks, 3 pairs of underwear.
That's not enough. Yeah, the trench foot. That's what you really got to worry about because your foot goes, you go.
Yeah, dude, it was rough, man. But
you passed it.
It was fun, dog. It was fun.
Yeah,
it was fun, man. I look back on it, and I have a lot of good memories. Like. Like when we were, I think, I don't know, like a 3rd or 4th night in, and we're kind of a little tipsy, dude, drinking some wine, and we got the fire going. And God, what the fuck was his name, man? Can't remember his name. He's an African kid. For those who don't know, the Legion is like predominantly gonna be Africans. A lot of Russians, a lot of Ukrainians, Belarusians, Eastern Bloc dudes, you know what I mean? Slavic, not a lot of Brazilians. There's Brazilians, Colombians, lots of Mongolian type people there. And bro, so you have like, every fucking culture in the damn world. But the one thing we all understand is like humor and, you know what I mean? So like, there is this one kid, like, I can't remember his name. He's from Africa. I think he was from the Congo or somewhere. He's from West Africa or, West Africa. But anyways, he was talking about how like, I think he was talking about how much of a ladies' man he was, like how there's something about being slick, right? Because we were talking loosely and we were all kind of drunk and shit. It's like a mix of French and his, and English. And he said something about like, yeah, man, I remember, man, that I was pimping back then or something. He said something about him being a pimp, right? And then all of a sudden this fucking, I think it was a lizard or a gecko or something. From the fucking tree and landed by him, like brushed his shoulder, and he fucking jumped like fucking 5 feet in the air and let out this fucking scream like a fucking female, and it was the funniest shit. And he just took off running into the fucking jungle, and we're all just laughing. We're like, yeah,
a lot.
Big pimp, bro, big pimping,
big pimping lot lizard shit,
dude. Yeah, so it's shit like that. It's like
that's fun though.
Treasure shit like that, man. But
fuck with them like a little branch, like something's jumping on him again.
It was like something little fell off his tree, and he fucking just was like, and just bro. I was like, oh shit.
Jeez. But I'd freak out too. I don't know if I'd scream, but I'd be like, whoa.
Yeah, it was fun times, man. But after that, we ended up going to fucking Mali, dude, to fight in the war. Operation Serval had kicked off, like 6 months before or something like that, about a year before, maybe. I think it was a year. Well, it was like 9 months to a year before we had got there. And this was like 2013. And so Operation Serval happened, and then there was just kind of, we were basically doing dignitary protection, like it's pretty fucking boring, dude. But essentially, like we did a lot of work with the U.S. Third Special Forces Group and shit. So like we did a lot of stuff with the Green Berets over there in Djibouti and Mali, and doing a lot of like French dignitaries, embassy protection. Um, just, I mean, it was cool, man, but it was very hard, dude. I saw some of the most atrocious things that humans can do to each other when I was there. Uh, just some of the most sickening things, man. Like women's, like, man, dude, like women's
Taking their
vaginas being mutilated.
so they can have pleasure. Yeah.
Yeah, or chopping off their breasts so they can't breastfeed. They would
So that
rape the women and like, dude,
different world there.
they would rape the women and like stuff bread in their mouth so they suffocate while they're raping them. And just fucking weird shit, man. Like,
Yeah, I'm not gonna comment on that because I'll say something bad.
yeah,
It's just a
yeah,
different world. It's a
dude.
different world, man.
I almost got in some really big trouble when I was there. They eat dog, dude. Right? They have these dog meat markets and shit.
Mm.
And I love animals, bro. I love dogs more than I love humans, right? Uh, just the fucking
Just having a
seeing,
dog meat market.
just seeing these dogs and like the way they would carry them around is they would take the dogs and break their legs so their front would be like this and their back legs would be like that too, right? And yeah, I took this. I did. I was gonna kill this guy and his whole family, bro.
Uh-huh. Fuck.
I took this dude out and tied him to a tree, and I told him I was gonna take his wife and his children and fucking kill him. And thank God. I mean, I don't know. I look back on it and I kind of wish I would have done it. I hate evil people like that, man. Um, People like that shouldn't be allowed to live. But
Was he one of the guys going around mutilating women and shit? And
there had been rumors that he was like loosely associated with the Boko Haram movement, and
yeah,
so the villages were predominantly Christian, right? You go into these main villages, and they're mostly Christians. Dude, they're just people trying to live a life, man. And on the outskirts of these villages would be these little bands of like fucking roving, goddamn Muslim militias, and they would go village to village and just basically, if you didn't convert to Islam, then they would slaughter you. And even if you did, most of the time they would slaughter you. So it really didn't matter, man. They were just killing to kill.
yeah,
And
they're evil.
it really what it comes down to, man, is they're just evil, sick fucks that need to be
Yeah,
exterminated. It's really disgusting, dude. I saw it.
it's been going on forever there.
No, it really has, man. It really has. And people don't realize how delicate of a situation Africa is because right now, China and Russia are deep in Africa. They're building cities, bro. And I'm not talking about little shanty towns. I'm
No,
talking fucking high
cities.
rise fucking skyscrapers.
Roads, infrastructure,
Yeah.
food, medicine, and in return, they're going to go mine all the minerals.
Yep. And guess who they're going to fight against? The U.S.
Us. Yeah.
And I fought against those North Africans, man. They can't shoot for shit. They can't really fight for shit, but they just don't stop. They don't quit. They got no quit in them, bro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Few things I've seen and from movies and stuff like Black Hawk Down, they're not letting no one through. That's there.
So now that you mentioned that,
Uh-huh.
if like I always tell people, like when people ask me about Africa and what it was like and shit, what is that movie? Tears of the Sun.
Yeah, that's how I know about the breast and then the
Yeah,
mutilation.
yeah,
And then
dude.
just throw the baby that was months old
So
into it.
like I had seen, I had seen that movie before I joined the Legion and shit. So like when I found out I was going to Africa, I was like, "Oh, dude, Tears of the Sun," and kind of made a comment, jokingly. And it was after being there for like for a few months, I was like, "It really is Tears of the Sun. Like it fucking is, bro." And it's even worse, dude, because
No one stops them.
no, man. And you know what's really fucked up is like, so a lot of there's a lot of media and journalists and shit like that going on. Like everybody knows what's happening down there, but nobody reports on it.
No, because it's not going to sell.
Yeah, and it blew my mind, man, because it's like everywhere I looked, everywhere I went, there was fucking cameras and like news people, but I would never see the shit on the nose.
Maybe they're also afraid because they're staying there, but they could always just go back to their
See,
original countries and
yeah,
run it.
that's what I didn't I don't know. I think what happened a lot of times is they were sent there just to get sent there, and then like they just they're whoever's in charge is like, sorry, we can't put that out, like, for whatever fucking reason, political
That's
shit.
shit that needs to be put out.
It really is, man, because what's happening in Africa right now is
Going to
pretty,
shape the world for the next 50, 60 years.
yeah. Those minerals and resources they have down there are priceless, dude. And
All the
that's
lithium mines and all the other shit they got. It's not even about jewels and diamonds. It's about,
no, see,
don't they
that's
have
what people.
oil too?
Yeah, yeah, they have pretty big natural gas reserves. I think it's natural
Yeah,
gas.
it's all about shit like that.
Yeah, because I get in arguments with people. Well, it's about the diamonds, and I'm like,
No, it's
no,
not.
it's not, bro. They don't give a fuck about the diamonds.
You can make diamonds in the lab now.
Yeah, it's not. This isn't 1996, bro. You know what I mean? So anyway, it's just yeah, North Africa is a delicate fucking time bomb. Just
To me, it's just an extension of the Middle East with the extremism.
it is,
They've
man.
all run down that little Syrian corridor, Egypt,
Yeah,
Morocco, Algeria. Well, if I'm
it's
Libya,
all crazy, dude. Yeah, that whole North African little panhandle there is just
yeah,
it's
it's bad. From the Horn of Africa out till
yep.
that
Yeah,
whole
man.
circle, it's bad, man. And but so, what was the? How did you end up getting shot?
So Jesus, man. Well, so I had just came back from like my little time off, right? Um, and when I had my time off, I went back to France, right? And while I was there, I had to do my Vigiparat. So every legionnaire has to do a Vigiparat, right? Which is it's your volunteer service to France, right? So you basically patrol the streets of France for like a month, right?
Excuse me.
So I do my little thing and my Vigiparat, and then I chill for a few weeks, and then I go back to Africa. Go back to Africa, and we had just gotten orders that we were going to be going back to French Guyana for some more training. We were going to do mining extradition training, which we hadn't done before. So I think it was the week before we were getting ready to get sent back. Is we were doing just a like little routine patrol through this village called CB. It's outside of Bamako, the capital, and we were just doing a little patrol, man. And from what I remember, is that there was like a little pile of garbage kind of on the side of the road, and so we wanted to stop and make sure it wasn't an IED or anything. So as our freaking explosive ordnance dude is kind of going up and checking over everything, we start taking sniper fire.
Mm.
From what I remember, it was coming from our left flank, right? So we're getting shot at from the left. We start engaging, and um, if you can imagine, we're like in a small little. It's not really an alley, but it's a little bit bigger. But it's not a road really. A little dirt fucking thing, and there's big walls on the side and a bunch of little cars and shit here and there, kind of scattered throughout. So we're shooting up over, trying to shoot, through these little doorways and over this wall, and trying to get accurate fire down. And I go around, I'm shooting, bam, 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 and I go around and I go around to go through around this car, and I come around to the side to the front of this car, and I remember my buddy was coming around from the back of the car, so I turned like this, and I'm kind of hunched down, and I turn, and right as I turn to my left, I got fucking hit right in
Mm.
my right hip, and I didn't
Oh,
know I got hit. I swear to this day, I tell everybody, it felt like somebody came up and like push kicked me with their foot. You know what I mean? Like booted me in my ass. I fell down, and I got back up right away, and and it was at that point when I felt like all this wet shit on my leg, and I look down, and my pants are just fucking soaked, dude.
no.
Um, so I immediately start kind of freaking out. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm hit, I'm hit. I get on the radio, I'm hit. I immediately start going for my tourniquet, right? But I'm hitting the hip, so the tourniquet isn't going to do anything. So I finally come to the realization that the tourniquet is useless, and I just fucking throw it. And I kind of thought to myself, well, this is it. Like, I'm gonna fucking die in Africa. And I actually got really sad, dude. It was at that moment that I was like, I just want to go home. I didn't want to be there anymore. I didn't want to die in some fucking back fucking road shithole in Africa. All I wanted to do was go home, dude. I just kept saying, I just want to go home. I just want to fucking go home. Please just let me go home. And essentially, fucking, I basically just passed out from loss of blood.
Mm.
Next thing I know, I keep waking up here and there, and I'm hearing, gunfights, and I can hear the medevac coming in, and I get evac'd out of there. From there, I actually recovered pretty quick. Within 2 weeks, I was back to my regiment.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And so on my third week, I was trying to go back out on patrol, and I wasn't cleared yet. And I wasn't even supposed to be going, but my fucking, what you call it, caporal chef, or it would be like your team leader or team sergeant, I guess, in the U.S. military, or like your gunny sergeant, I guess. I don't know.
Master Secretary or something.
Yeah, master chief, something like that, right?
Okay.
So I was like, man, please let me go, man. Please let me go on this fucking patrol. And he's like, go. Basically, he was like, go see our equivalent of corpsman, right? So I go see him, and he's like, look, man. He's like, you can't go on this patrol. And I was like, why? And he's like, because you still have to. I still had this wound, and I had to, pack it full of this thin packing strip every day, or like every couple hours.
It's like a lace.
Well, it was like, yeah, this medicated packing strip, and every time I took it out, I had to cut it shorter
Mm. Okay.
because they wanted the wound to heal from the inside out, right? So they didn't get an air pocket or anything. So he's like, bro, he's like, you can't fucking go out on patrol and clean your fucking wound and change your bandages. And I was like, I'll do it, I'll fucking do it, I promise. And he's like,
It's a liability.
just go, just fucking go.
Oh shit. You
So I
really
go. And like he said, I didn't clean my shit. And
got infected?
dude, yeah, like within 48 hours, I was fucking almost dying. I had, so like my white blood cell count was super low. I was sick as fuck. I had 103.4 fever.
God damn.
I was hallucinating. Like, it was bad, bro. I was really bad. And so I got evac to Bamako, which is the capital, right? And that's where kind of where our main little operational base was. So from there, they're like he got blood poisoning. He needs to be
Oh, you were septic?
yeah, like I was fucked.
Oh,
Like, I was close to, I was pretty much in ICU.
yeah. Yeah.
So I get flown medically fucking evac out to Luxembourg, and then from Luxembourg back to France, and I had two blood transfusions, and
Fuck, man.
yeah, it was IV antibiotics. They actually had to put antibiotics into my bone marrow. Yeah,
That didn't feel good at all, I bet.
huh?
That probably fucking hurt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, then they knocked me out because
Oh, yeah. I was going to say,
yeah,
like,
they
dude,
take this fucking. They told me afterwards, right? Because I was like, I don't care, just fucking not like, don't just put me out. They
Mhm.
drill a hole. It's like a fucking. It looks like a little.
Screwdriver or a fucking,
Yeah, it looks like a little fucking impact screwdriver, dude. Right? And it just goes right in. They did it right into my thigh or my shin bone. Yeah. And they fucking gave my fluid antibiotics, bro.
yeah. She just jumped up. Oh, girl. Yeah, I'd want to be knocked out for that too.
Yeah,
Like,
well, I'll never forget the pain when because I woke up and dude, my fucking leg, man, I still have a huge scar, but I remember the bruise, like my whole leg was just black and blue, the whole thing. It was so fucking bad because they had
ugh.
essentially drilled into my bone, like
Yeah.
so my
And they're
whole leg.
using shit from Home Depot at that point. That's no longer like a
Yeah,
medical
yeah,
scalpel.
yeah. It was like a drill, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it
Still.
saved my life, man, because I
Yeah.
really needed those antibiotics. The doctors told me like they were like, "You're very, very lucky. Like, you were basically dead."
Yeah.
So,
So what happens after that?
well, that's kind of where I made some choices. So when you get hurt for France, when you get injured fighting for France in the Legion, you get offered full citizenship. I got offered full citizenship, right? Passed me a whole new life. And I was like, yeah, that sounds great. I want to go home. I
Yeah.
want to go home for a little bit. Because at this point I hadn't been to the US in like fucking 2.5 years, man. Yeah, about 2 years, something like that.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah, dude. And like I hadn't seen my daughter, since she was born basically. And um I missed home. I almost died. Like
Yeah.
I just wanted I wanted to
Some
touch US soil again.
yeah, some type of familiarity, not only with like where you grew up, but the food. People don't realize food's a big thing when you
It
move.
really is, bro, because the food in France sucks.
Yeah.
I fucking didn't like it.
Which is crazy because they're known for some of the best food in the world. That
Yeah, if you're into that type of fancy shit, I just
I
like
like
burgers and
Italian
fries,
food.
dog.
Yeah, I'll take a hamburger and then pizza and just. But I'm
Yeah,
not gonna get escargot in these fucking $500 dishes of a
they
fucking
really
piece.
do eat snail over there, bro. It's weird.
Yeah, fuck, I'm good. Yeah, you guys, that's your culture, it ain't mine.
Yeah, it's a little weird, but
So
anyways, I just wanted to go home, man, and
yeah,
um,
and
I never went back. That's the problem.
yo,
I've
were
been
you
back.
supposed to?
Yeah, I was supposed to go back. So
So what
technically,
happens?
I'm on the run. Like, if
But
I ever go
don't,
back to France, I'll immediately be taken from the airport to Castel or Oban or wherever the fuck, and I'll be held in garrison till my hearing. And more than likely, what'll happen, like, well, it depends on how long I'm gone, but more than likely, what'll happen is they'll either terminate me or they'll, if I want to stay or if they want to keep me, or if they don't want to release me, might I say, they'll probably just give me some hard labor for like 30 days. Yeah.
Yeah. But you've been shot, your back, neck, probably not the best thing.
No, more than likely what they'll do is release me, man. Medically
Yeah.
release me.
It's not like they're going to come over to Washington and grab you.
No. They don't. They don't do that shit. It's
Yeah.
just if I ever come back type thing, you know.
No, you can still go to Italy or Spain.
Yeah.
Just stay away from
Stay away from France.
France, Coruscant. So, is that kind of where it leaves you today? Where you're back in the U.S. and you're doing what you're doing now?
Yeah, pretty much, man. I mean, I came back. Well, when I came back, I had a lot of trouble with PTSD. And I mean, really bad, dude. There's still days when I struggle um, with suicide and shit. Like, it's just hard, man, because when you don't have any like family, like it's why I stress to people. I can't stress to people enough. Like, I don't give a fuck what you're going through with your family. Make it right. Because even though my dad was a piece of shit and a violent man, and he did a lot of fucked up shit, I still miss him. You know, he's still my dad. Um, I understand a lot more now that I'm older and a little bit more, knowledgeable, that he had his own demons and he had his own struggles and his own addictions to deal with, man. And who am I to sit there and judge that? Um, that's not, it's not for us to judge, man. It's everybody's own struggle is different. Um, yeah, I struggled for a long time with depression and PTSD, but something that's really helped a lot, man, and I swear by it, is mushrooms.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
helps with depression.
yeah. Anytime like I have some serious depression or like suicidal thoughts or something, I'll take a couple days off work and have a little
Yeah,
trip, and I swear by it. Like the last trip I did was about 4 months ago. I was going through a lot of shit and sat here in the kitchen and was gonna eat a bullet, and I was just like, "Fuck, man, I gotta take some medicine, dude." And
that's what it is.
yeah,
It's for
ate some
medicine.
medicine, man, and tripped. I had a horrible. It was a horrible trip too, really bad. I don't know why. It's just it was a really bad trip, and
Well, those things usually kind of take you where you need to go sometimes.
yeah, it was almost like drawing the bad out, like bringing it all to the surface so it could get out.
Yeah. Yep. That's
Um,
exactly what it is.
yeah, so it's something I have to do every once in a while to kind of get through it, but it works, man. It fucking
Yeah.
works. And every
So
day,
good for
every day I drink that layered super performance mushrooms, fucking shit. Kind of helps with brain cognitive stuff. I feel like that helps a lot too.
even
So
the non-psychoactive mushrooms do a lot for brain and organ tissue and stuff. So they're finding out a lot more about them. And the psilocybin is really good for depression and PTSD because it gives you the introspection, looking at things from different angles. Oh shit, I forgot about that. That was a huge part of the story, just
yeah,
things like that. But
tell you what.
no, I was just saying, yeah, no, that's good that you do that. But
Yeah,
yeah, man, it you should try that ketamine therapy too
yeah.
because it has
Something I really been thinking about. And you said the insurance might cover it, huh?
yeah, I don't know if they're covering yet, but they were starting to talk about it because it actually helps and is less dangerous than antidepressants because no one
Yeah,
ever
man.
talks about the withdrawals and the shit that does to your brain. There's reasons why people stay on antidepressants for 40 years but can come off
Yeah,
opiates. The withdrawals
yeah,
are
dude.
worse.
Yeah, I've known people that came off of antidepressants that just straight up killed themselves.
Yeah.
It's
Well, it's
like,
just the whole just the changes it does in your brain. Then you stop taking them and nothing's
Yeah.
healed, no new pathways. And then mushrooms and ketamine help you build new pathways and repair your brain and do a bunch of different shit than traditional medicine.
Yeah. See, I take this stuff every day, dude.
Okay, yeah, no, that's super. I think I've heard of that. Is that a TJ Dillashaw's company?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't
Check
think so.
his
It's
out. He
Laird
check out.
Superfood.
Yeah, he's doing some shit. Him and Rashad Evans, you know those dudes, UFC champions.
Yeah, yeah.
Rashad's really big into the mushrooms and the psychedelic, but also the non psychedelic. And he says, "Man, since I've been doing that, my brain has come a long way. I've changed as a person. I've dealt with a lot of my issues." And TJ Dillashaw started a company where they do superfoods and mushrooms and stuff. I'll get the name and I'll text it to you.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, man.
Yeah,
I'm always trying to find something new like that because
yeah. Rashad's the one. I don't know if he's how many podcasts, but there's this one Jackson podcast. He goes into a real big depth, and he talks about the death of his ego, which was eating at him, and a
yeah,
bunch of shit. Yeah,
ego's a motherfucker, man.
yeah, it is. It's
Yeah, dude.
crazy.
It's I feel like my ego is the whole reason I put this persona on, because it's like I didn't want like I didn't want what normal kids want. Like normal kids, like I want to be a cop, or I want to be a
Mm-hmm.
doctor, I want to be an astronaut. I wanted to be a gang member. Like, what the fuck? Like, and it was
That.
all ego based. It was all because I felt I was different as a kid because I grew up around either black kids or I had to live with the rich kids. So it's like I never felt like I fit in anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So my ego made me want to be this like bad gangster dude who everybody respected.
Yeah. No,
You know?
that's has a lot to do with it. And then you get like you were talking about earlier, the media, the movies, the
Yeah.
music.
But that's the
Just
thing is like you shouldn't people shouldn't look up to shit like that, man.
yeah.
I got into an argument with a guy who I grew up with and who's still in the life, and he basically was like, "Man, you're fucking lame, and you fucking drop out and fucking da 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 da." And I said, "Well, hold on a minute, bro." I said, "And now, well, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with being a citizen? What's wrong with being a normal person?" I said, "I'm gonna go to sleep tonight. I'm gonna watch what the fuck I want. I'm gonna go to sleep when I want. I'm gonna eat what I want. If I want to have sex with my broad, I'm gonna have sex with my broad. What are you doing tonight?" "Oh, that's right. You're in a fucking cell with a dude farting all
Yeah.
night."
Yeah.
"Yeah." "Oh, and you're gonna wake up and you're gonna eat fucking whatever they feed you."
It's
Like,
a
I'm
it's a
sorry, there
rough
ain't nothing
life,
cool
man.
about that.
No, and I think a lot of that has to do with immature kids, and they get so deep into it, it's already too late. You
Yeah.
know, they want to they just been prioritized the wrong type of stimulation and subjects to look up to, or they had no guidance. Or big thing is not having a father figure or a father.
I, you know,
That's big one I've noticed. And
I really like, it kind of clicked with me a few months ago. I was actually kind of crying about this not too long ago, man. It kind of really hit me. Like for a long time, people have been telling me, "Man, dude, you had it rough as a kid, bro." And like, I'm sorry, and I was just like, whatever. Like, it is what it is. But it was just not too long ago. I actually came to the realization that yes, dude, like you did have a fucked up childhood. You shouldn't have had to have gone through those things. You didn't deserve that. Like how, damn them for making you, like I almost was like okay, like it's okay to accept the fact that like I didn't have a good childhood, man. It's
yeah,
okay like that my dad wasn't there, and I was crying because it was like my buddy. I have a buddy Steve who, unfortunately, I don't really talk to anymore for personal political reasons, but he um he had a great mom and dad, dude. Um, really good parents, man. You know what I mean? And I thought to myself, like, fuck, man, like what would have happened if I would have had his dad, like, or if I would have had his parents? Like, would I have still grown up to be the way that I am, or would I not? Like, I don't, like it just made me wonder, like why couldn't I have had a normal family?
Just life's not fair, man. And
No, no,
but also ask yourself this question: how many of those kids could have handled your life? How many of them?
probably none, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I look back on it and it's like that first childhood memory of my dad getting in the fight with those three guys.
Yeah.
It really set the tone. That's why I'm so like I can't stress to people enough. Like, love your children, bro. Like, show your kids love and be nurturing but be firm. Teach them to be caring but tough. You know what I mean? Um, because man, the world is a fucking rough place, and you know, sometimes it's some kids and just have to endure more than others, man. It's
Yeah.
just, yeah, it's just maybe had I not seen those things growing up,
No, that had a big thing. Your first childhood memory is your dad knocking three dudes out.
Yeah,
Like you said, that set the tone. But what also set the tone was he came back. He didn't console you. He said, "Why are you crying?"
yeah, yeah. He's like, "What the fuck are you crying about?
Yeah.
I won."
So
And I was like, "What?"
you're like, "No, I don't want to upset dad, so I shouldn't cry."
Yeah,
You
it
hold
kind of
shit
really,
down, push it in, and it eventually comes out in negative ways.
yeah, yeah. I've struggled a lot with personal relationships my whole life because of the shit that I've seen, man.
I have
It's
trust
hard.
issues. No, trust issues, especially with women.
Yeah, it's hard for me. Yeah, because my mom abandoned me when I was a kid, dude. So every
Yeah.
woman I've ever had in my life has pretty much fucking lied to me. Um, so it really does. It
No,
really
it's
fucks
true.
things up, man. Thank God I've got a strong woman. I've been with the same woman for 12 years, dude.
That's good, dude. I'm glad to
Yeah,
hear that.
yeah.
And but yeah, all this. I think have you started a channel?
I've thought about it, dude. I don't know how to I joke around a lot. I'm not one of those dudes that's really comfortable with like,
Oh, okay,
hey, what's going on?
me neither. I'm the same way.
Yeah, it's kind
But
of hard for me.
you could but you're good on talking with someone or you could get some back and forth with the coach or something. But you got a lot to offer the world with the shit you've been through. You could talk about it, and it could also be therapy for you
Yeah,
living now.
I've thought
Putting
about
it to,
starting a podcast or something, but
you should, and you need any help, let me know.
yeah, man, I might do that because I do find it a little therapeutic. I mean, it's not very often that I get to sit here and talk about stuff like this, so it is nice, man. So
Yeah, and it's helped me with some things. I know it's helped a lot of other dudes I've talked to as well. They just said it was a form of therapy. I finally got that shit off my chest after years and years and years.
yeah, yeah.
So and
Yeah, I'm
people like
actually I'm kind of trying to write a book right now, man.
that's a good one too.
Yeah, I started with my first childhood memory, and it's kind of going forward. But that's why I at first I didn't want to get too heavy into the Legion stuff because part of that was going to be like a major focus of my book. But
Well, there's so
uh,
much we didn't talk
oh,
about.
there's
So
so much more I
yeah,
could get into, dude.
oh,
Like,
I'm sure.
I could do a whole 3 hours on just that.
Yeah, yeah,
So
and but yeah, man, I think you should start a channel. And you need help, you're having a bad day, give me a call, whatever, dude.
yeah,
You know.
absolutely, man. I'll
Um,
definitely keep in touch, man.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
it's good to have somebody out there you feel like you can have some type of same perspectives on and whatnot. So
yeah, and a lot of people aren't mature anymore. Even if you disagree on one or two things, It's
Oh,
like
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of dudes in the comments be like that fucking rat,
yeah.
fucking
Hey,
dropout.
my comments are actually pretty respectful, man. It
Yeah.
just, I like I said, I have no problem with people cooperating as long as they're not still trying to like hide it or
Oh
whatever.
yeah.
If you're just upfront about it, well, hey man, you want to be close to your family. Who the fuck am I to be like, well, you shouldn't. You should have stayed solid. Well, that's not me, and that's not my role.
Yeah,
So
it's
I don't get
I get
involved in
into it.
that.
I tell dudes all the time. It's like there is nothing to be proud of in that life, dude. Like a real man, a real fucking man gets a job, pays his bills, and takes care of his family. Not stealing from people and fucking selling drugs and destroying his community and his fucking people and not being there for his kids. And it's like that's
Yeah,
fuck.
it's part of that indoctrination process, and just about anyone who tells you who got to walk away from the life for a certain amount of period of time, that always hits them. They're like, "That's not what men do."
No, bro.
Most of the real ones, like SMA and NFAB members, they'll all tell you that's not what men do. They say
No,
the same
bro.
thing. Yeah. So
No.
it is what it is. Like, it's just not. I don't get involved in that unless there's only been one person I've ever got involved in that, and that's because he's caused me some fucking problems and some of my friends' problems. So, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you could figure it out. I don't like saying his name, but
Oh, old fucking dub, huh?
yeah. But
Faggot. There you go.
yeah, let them do their thing over there, man. This is for the people who have a little more serious time.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Like I said, dude, life is too short, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
When it
What am
comes
I
down,
gonna do?
yeah, it's
You
like,
know,
dude, like it's like we were saying earlier, like fucking, we're in our late 30s now. You're what, low
33.
30s, 33? Yeah, I'm gonna be fucking four. I'm 39. Like,
I'm
you
still
gonna be
young.
40, man.
I'm
It's
still
a
young for a man, though.
yeah, yeah. I almost went back to the Legion last year.
Oh, you almost
They still take people up till 39 and a half.
so that you couldn't go. Well, unless they wanted to keep you, right? And you went
Yeah,
back.
well, technically my contract is still open. So, I mean, like, if I was to go back, they'd snatch me up for sure.
Yeah,
So
they
they'd medically
yeah, but
retire me though once they saw the X-rays of my neck and shit.
oh yeah, that then you'd have to come back. So it's just keep doing what you're doing here, man. Keep grinding. This shit gets hard, but there's like it always seems to come in threes. Three bad things, then you get three good things, and then it kind of evens out, and then you'll get that little extra good thing. But you always want to focus on the negative.
Yeah,
It's
man.
it's
I tell
hard
people,
not to.
if you don't think about the hard times, you'll never realize how good the good times are.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Some people never had bad times, and I don't get along with those people.
nah, man,
When you crying
that's
about every day is a blessing. Oh, okay.
bitch. That's because you've never had a bad day.
Yeah, yeah.
Get out of
Like
here.
daddy's over there buying you an SUV every month.
Yeah, bro.
So,
Yeah.
but it yeah, man. You have a bad day, give me a call. I'm usually around.
All right, man. Yeah, for sure, dude. I
We'll keep
totally
in touch,
appreciate
bro.
it, man.
Yeah, no, thank you for coming on, bro. I appreciate you being going as deep as you did, man. I know some of that shit is painful, and
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot more to it, but
and that's stuff you could do on your channel, or in your
yeah, it's
book,
kind of
or
why I keep thinking to myself, like, don't spill it all, bro. Like, you
yeah.
gotta save some for the book. And
That's why I always ask: is there things you don't want me to ask or bring up? So never
yeah.
know. Some of
Yeah,
the,
I'm
I,
down to, if you ever want to fucking have me on again, let me know, man.
yeah, dude, I'll have you on anytime, man. We could talk about. Well, we'll leave the French Foreign Legion alone, but we could talk more about the AF, or we could talk more about life, or we could, whatever, dude, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah, and if people want to get a hold of me, they fucking get a hold of me on Instagram or Facebook or whatever.
And it's I'll put
Change
your
Yeah, Chains to Gains on Instagram.
Okay, I'll put that link in the description below so you guys can get it, Coach Jay.
Yeah. All right,
So,
man. Well, it was a
thank God.
pleasure.
Yeah, no, thank you. We'll be in touch, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll hit you up, man, and we'll see what we can't put together.
Yes, sir. All right, bud. You have a good night. Anytime you need to call, give me a call, man. I have sleep issues.
All right, brother. You take care of
All right, bud.
yourself, all right?
Thank you, bud. Thanks for coming on.
All
Hope you
right.
guys enjoyed this. Reach out to Coach Jay. He's got a lot of life experience, and you can tell he's being genuine. So it's a hell of a story, man. Thank you.
Absolutely. God bless, man.
All right.